Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. This is going to be another episode of Reforge Gaming News, and we're talking Halo Infinite Season 2, my review, the good, the bad, and the room for improvement. I want to know what you think of the season, so make sure you're here live for the streams. Hit subscribe, the bell button. If you are subscribed to my channel, always make sure and check your subscription feed and my channel. Sometimes I am not on your recommended or your homepage, but we do stream every day, Monday through Friday, on YouTube, doing live discussions and gameplay. I give you the goods right here at the beginning of the video. You don't have to go searching for it. So I always call this an update. This is a Reforge update. Halo Infinite Season 2 has launched, and there's good, there's bad, and there's room for improvement. We want to hear what you have to say, so leave a comment below or check out Reforge Gaming where I stream the discussion live. As always, hit subscribe and the bell button here on updates so you don't miss my quick upload. So the good, I actually think there is good here. I think there are things to be praised, and it does give me hope for the future of Halo Infinite. I think one of the things right now that's in doubt is, will this game continue to deliver what is necessary? Will it improve in the ways that is needed? I think the cosmetics are actually showing versatility and potential within customization depth, which is sort of related to some of my predictions about the game. I think they really see this game blending PvE and PvP. You will start to care a whole lot more about your Spartan and less about playing as Master Chief when they start releasing PvE content. And when you look at the armor this season, I think you get a taste for that. It starts to look like RPG armor, like something you would do in a game where you're customizing your character to a much higher degree than just slapping on a skin like you would in Fortnite. The way that they've set these up is very thematic, and I think they look very good. The art department did a great job. Very post-apocalyptic, almost like Fallout 4. The cutscenes felt a little out of place and forced, but I did think that they were good. The story seems interested. They seem interested in telling a compelling story. The ongoing world of Halo Infinite is something that they're investing in, and I thought the cutscenes did a great job. They were placed a little awkwardly, but having cutscenes that are sort of thematically pushing forward whatever event is going on or whatever is happening new in the game, I think is actually a pretty good idea. Lastly, the one new map that I played felt well designed. I thought it flowed well. I actually think 343 is good at designing maps. I think they do a good job with map design, which is something that is desperately needed when you do an arena shooter. But that's kind of where the good ends, okay? The good ends there. The bad is, foundationally, I think season length, challenges, XP earn rates are all still in a horrible state. It makes it almost immediately unappealing to play because you're sort of back in that super slow, unappealing rut. And I've got some ideas on how they can fix that. It's not just about season length, it's about how the challenges are put in, how they're displayed, how does the event feel. It's all still very much slapped together. I really cannot give them praise here. They didn't make any significant changes with this, and it's desperately needed. Then Last Spartan Standing, sort of the new mode. There's other returning modes, but I want to focus on Last Spartan Standing. It's just lacking in basic game design sense. I don't understand how this was designed the way that it is. The second gun you get is the Mangler, which would be fine if you left it behind, but you don't have to upgrade. You can just get the Mangler and use it for the rest of the game. Now, I know the battle rifle is preferred because of the length of the maps and the angles, and it's just such an effective weapon, but the Mangler is a top-tier weapon that you get second. You can get a kill and get the Mangler, and then you can just keep it for the rest of the game. I think this is a terrible design decision. It empowers the opposite of sort of kind of the game that you intended, the game that you motivated, is that you're rewarded for engagement, you're rewarded for kills. Well, you can get the Mangler and sort of hide and camp out. You're not forced to close gaps, you're not forced to go and do anything because it's a weapon that is so good at surprising a player because you can get those easy, melee kills after tapping them once or twice, and then you can just camp until the final danger zone. The danger zone itself The danger zone itself is a problem because it spawns people outside of the danger zone when you're in the final 1v1. Now, I know somebody might push back and say you're rewarded for aggression. So if you are kind of camping out and it gets all the way to the final danger zone, that's on you. I don't think that you can blame the player for bad respawn systems. Like, it's my fault. I should have played more aggressively. Keep in mind, I played the game twice and had a great time, but this is feedback from the community that I'm relaying. I had a great time. I won the second time. It was super intense, but that's before the meta settles. The meta will settle on this mode of keeping the Mangler, camping, and praying for good RNG on Danger Zone. Really need to think about how to improve this. So let's talk about this. Room to improve. The cosmetics and the rewards and the progression, I think, are easily fixed with a shorter seasonal model, and we know that's coming, okay? We don't need to keep banging on that drum. I know it's frustrating. It kind of stinks. They have said they are committed to shortening the seasons down to 3 months, and that will be a significant uptick in quality for event design and for the Battle Pass. Last Spartan Standing has potential to be a really good mode. It can shine. It can be excellent, but it feels like an experiment. You wait 6 months for a brand new season, and the new mode, one of the centerpieces of the season, should be polished. It should be thoughtful, and it's not. It should force you to go to the next gun, because that's a tried and true mode called gun game. You just get a kill, and you go to the next gun. And I know that's part of how you keep things moving. Once you get to that next weapon, especially when you're on like the shotgun or something, it forces you to engage in different ways. You kind of can't do this sort of one-size-fits-all strategy of sitting on such a powerful weapon that you get so early. Use a better spawning system for the smaller danger zones. It doesn't seem to stand to reason that if somebody earns their way to the end and they're in a 1v1 and they have lives left, to spawn them outside of the danger zone so they're immediately taking damage, and then you're going to get shot coming in. The mode has potential. It just needs polish. This is sort of the status of the game right now. There's so much potential in this game, but the polish just isn't there. Also, the event challenges. What on earth are they thinking by not even changing this fundamental aspect of the game? When an event shows up and you want to focus on the event challenges, there should be an event challenge page where you just go and focus only on those rather than having them interspersed in the weekly challenges. They're continuing to just push this really paternalistic, micromanaged idea about how people should approach the game. It didn't work in Season 1. You've got to let go of your stranglehold on player behavior. XP every game, the same amount. Let people pick what challenges they want to work on during an event especially. Get rid of this idea that you're supposed to log in for so many games or so many things or play in a certain way. It didn't work in Season 1 and it won't work in Season 2. These would be significant quality of life improvements that would make a massive impact on player reception and player drive to play. Now, we also know they need to remove the armor core system. They have indicated they are doing that. So armor core system and season length, we know they have their sights set on. Everything else I just listed really needs to be something that they focus on. Let me know what you think of Halo Infinite Season 2. How are you experiencing everything I just talked about? Head over to Reforge Gaming if you want to discuss it live. As always, hit subscribe and the bell button, and I'll see you in the next video. And I'll see the rest of you right now. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Hello to everybody over there on TikTok as well. Thank you for watching over there. Daily live streams. We appreciate it so much. Excuse me. Good morning, J Murph. Incorrect. You need the shotgun and then the BR. I never said anything about not needing the shotgun, Hilly. I said that people are saying you have a reason to go past the Mangler to get the BR, right? Which is true. It is true. Going for the battle rifle is a huge advantage. I got the battle rifle and I won with it. It's a great weapon, but as soon as I got off the Mangler, I was like, why'd I do that? The Mangler's God. Like, next to the battle rifle, the Mangler's God tier. Why would you switch off of it, especially if you're going to use a camping strategy? You can't camp. You need to pick up the overshield and camo. Again, you're not engaging with what this meta will turn into, Hilly. No one is going to go for the overshield and camo if they don't have to. No one's doing that. The commando's better? What? No! Mangler's not good at range. Right, but think about what I said. Really think about what I'm saying, okay? Think about what I'm saying. This meta will settle, okay? Write it down. Write it down in your diary or in your to-do list or on your grocery list on your refrigerator. This will happen. Mangler camp will be the strategy. Because all you've got to do is land. Is it still a one-shot melee? Is it hit him, punch him? Is it still doing that? Or have they adjusted that? I don't remember. I remember people calling for it to be nerfed last season. Did they nerf the Mangler, or is it still one-shot melee? Because if it's still one shot, it's two-shot melee. Okay, so two-shot melee. Okay, so at least that's fixed. I did say that in the video. I was like, you got to hit him. I think you got to hit him twice and then punch him. That's good. That's good that they did that, because that would make this mode 10 times worse. Because that's all everybody would do. You get the Mangler and just sit around a corner. You'd be like, pop, punch, and it'd be a disaster. Okay. That still doesn't prevent people from doing that. They're just going to sit on the Mangler, and they can quite literally skip the other weapons until they're ready for BR. I want you to think about that. The entire mode is designed around you getting kills with different weapons, and you don't have to, okay? Yeah, and then a challenge to get melee kills from behind? What? Who's making these challenges? You know? Yeah, I'm not covering. I don't want to cover that, Trunks. I just don't. No, I have no interest. We have announcements about what we're doing with radio anyway, so it all makes sense. Yo, what's good, Feed? I see you in the chat. Like, really track with me here. Really track with me here. Forget what I'm saying about camping as a meta. Forget it. You can have your opinions on whether or not that'll become the meta. It'll become the meta, because the psychology of the player is you've got to protect what's yours, and people are going to realize the best thing to do is to hide, because they save their lives, and then you're out there being aggressive, and guess what? You're going to have to face a guy at the end who has 4 or 5 lives because he's just hid the whole time, and he's got his Mangler because he got 1 kill. He has a Mangler because he got 1 kill, okay? He's going to hide the whole time, all right? Forget that. If you think I'm bonkers and I can't predict player metas and player psychology after covering games like this for dadgum 8 years, fine. That won't happen. Ignore that point. What about this? The mode is literally designed for you to have to earn the next weapon with the weapon that you have, and you don't have to. You can basically get Mangler and use it until BR. Or use it until shotgun. That's all everybody's going to do. That's a terrible mode. That's not how the mode is supposed to be. Do you really want to lose to somebody? Let's say you play the mode as it's designed. Okay, let's say you play the mode as it's designed. And you get the first gun, use it. You get the second gun, use it. And you're using all those guns in order. And then you face some guy at the end, and you're on one of the middle weapons, like the commando or something, like that rifle that's just freaking terrible, that AR, and he's got a Mangler. Who do you think's winning that fight? You've been working, you've been getting kills, you've been taking risk and playing aggressive, and he's sitting in a dadgum corner with a Mangler. Like I said, what do you think people are going to do when they encounter that? What do you think they're going to do? They're going to do that. They're going to get a kill, and they're going to sit on Mangler whole game. And then once if they get enough kills, they'll just sit there and upgrade, and then they'll upgrade up to the BR. The AR wins when you pick up the grapple. I don't think Mangler is all that great for that mode. You have to be pretty precise for it to be good. I'm almost always trying to get an AR. Okay. We need some pros in the chat. I swear to frick, we need some pros. The idea that... The idea that that people are gonna put the Mangler down for the... Come on. No! Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, the Mangler was such a problem they had to nerf it. It is still such a top tier weapon. You never use the Mangler, you get 15 plus kills a game. As soon as I put it away, I was like, man, I miss the Mangler. I was just wrecking fools. I had no idea that I could upgrade. I'm just sitting there. I got 3 or 4 people in a row. Switched to the AR, and guess what I got killed by? I got killed by the Mangler. Aim assist on console is also OP on the Mangler. Everyone will use it. Yeah, I was playing on the Xbox. It felt like easy clap. I was like, this is so easy. It's a pop, 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 dead. Pop, 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 dead. It was like, this is so dumb. It was silly easy. Now, obviously, I wasn't playing against super challenging players, but anyone see my message about the sidekick? Am I alone in thinking the sidekick is 10 times better than the Mangler? I want a game keeping the sidekick until the BR. Maybe because it shoots so fast it'll take people by surprise. I don't know. I'm great with the Commando and the BR, so I'm always upgrading, and I've done great. Mangler is good, but it ain't my go-to for sure. Okay, all right. We don't have consensus on the weapons. That's fine. That's fine. I enjoy the pushback. What about the zone? What about danger zone? Have you guys run into this? I saw multiple people talking about this. I saw Distorted talking about it, and I saw other people talking about it. Getting spawned outside the danger zone, so you just spawn into damage. Has that happened to you? Because that seems absolutely broken. We're gamers. Easy over skill will always be the meta. That's what I'm telling you, man. Danger zone is just lame, says Wallaby. Go watch HDS and then say the Mangler is bad. They literally treat it like a power weapon. That's what I'm saying, Rogue. Could I please get some pros in chat? Like, everything I've heard, everything I've watched and seen, Mangler's like S tier, and now people are like, no, it's not. Maybe because you were one pop meleeing and now you can't, so you put it away. That gun is so insanely good. I don't get the it's not that good. I don't understand why people are saying that. I mean, again, it's subjective to the player's experience, so if you've struggled with it, don't like it, if it doesn't fit with your playstyle, if the rhythm feels off, I guess that makes sense. Use what's best for you. I'm not telling you to use the Mangler. I'm saying this is what I envision people doing. I believe they needed it to 2 melee. Thank you, Grim Brother, over there on TikTok for telling me. Mangler on arena map is different than a BTB map. I think that has happened to me, says Hilly. Okay. So that sounds to me like we can have disagreements about weapon and meta and all of that. It sounds like the danger zone isn't working properly. You shouldn't be spawning people outside the danger zone. That doesn't make any sense. Now, what's probably happening is there are predetermined... Let me answer me this. You guys are probably more experienced than me. Do you get the feeling there are predetermined spawn points? Because if there's predetermined spawn points, that's probably why this is happening. They're like, the circle's this big, and they don't want to spawn you next to this guy, so they're like, well, let's go to the next furthest determined spawn point, and it's like, it's outside the zone. You have 2 systems conflicting with each other. You have predetermined spawn points and a danger zone that's arbitrary in size because it's not necessarily, the maps aren't designed with that danger zone in mind, and the danger zone can be random. Grim Brother says, just because the Mangler is hard to use doesn't mean it's not great. Agree on the danger zone. It's a good disagreement. You don't want a gun 100% the choice for everyone. That's when you know it's way too overpowered. Well, when you could one-shot melee people with it, that's busted. Anybody can do that. You just hip fire the thing and punch. It's like, that's broken TTK. That's broken time to kill. Guys, smash the like button. Let's have a strong start here. 20 more likes. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We're talking Halo Infinite Season 2 review. My thoughts are there's good, there's bad, there's room for improvement. We're discussing Last Spartan Standing. Butter says 100% predetermined. That's how 100% of the multiplayer maps are made. See, that's not going to work. You can't have predetermined spawn points and a random danger zone. That's never going to work. Those systems are in conflict because the danger zone isn't going to, unless they code the danger zone to do this. I just don't know if they could. You need to, if they do that, actually, you know what? It's a simple fix. Well, maybe not a simple fix, but this is my solution and this feels simple at first blush. You should spawn with so many seconds of danger zone immunity. so that way they can spawn you in a safe position, so you're not just out in the open getting shot by the last person. They can spawn you in a safe position, and you have so many seconds of immunity to the danger zone, so you're going to hustle in, strategically, obviously. You're going to hustle into the zone and have full health when you get there. Now, you wouldn't be able to exploit this because it's only a couple of seconds. It's like it's enough time to get in the zone. Or like, yeah, you couldn't give it to them until they step out, because then they would just stay out there and cheese it and shoot you from the danger zone, and that would be really annoying. Unless, of course, you give people immunity to the danger zone until they leave it when they spawn, and then if they shoot, as soon as they shoot the weapon, they lose immunity. If they leave danger zone or shoot their weapon, they lose immunity, which would mean you wouldn't want to do that. You'd engage somebody from the danger zone, from outside the danger zone, you'd shoot, lose immunity, and then they'd know where you are, and, I mean, they would shred you. But immediately spawning and taking damage, that's absolutely 100% broken. You can't do that to the player. Hilly says, the amount of power-ups is too high in my opinion. Most guns struggle to if you have an overshield in another one. Yeah, I saw people talking about that too, Hilly. They were like, do we really need power-ups in this mode? Do we need power-ups? It doesn't feel like we need power-ups. It feels like it's a game that's rooted in free-for-all gun skill combat. Why are you throwing power-ups on the map? You're going to make one-person Godzilla? Like, what? When the people that were using power-ups in my map, they were getting absolutely shredded because everybody saw them and like converged on them. So you saw bullets flying from like every angle on the one guy with the overshield. But if you're getting down into 2 or 3 people and that one guy gets the overshield, I mean that's a wrap. He's gonna roll over everybody if he's of reasonable skill. I never experienced spawning in the danger zone, and I hope I never do. That needs fixed immediately. Have you ever played Forge mode? You used to be able to play spawns wherever you wanted. I assume they could do that easily. But that's the problem. Doesn't the danger zone randomly select a place to converge on, Butters? Or is the danger zone on every map exactly the same? I thought it was like, doesn't it say something to the effect of like danger zone selected? I thought it did that. I didn't think that it was like a predetermined danger zone. Even then, you're still dealing with the potential. You're still dealing with the potential, like the spawn system conflicting with that final zone, because you're dealing with something that can get smaller and smaller and smaller. Doesn't it get to a certain size and just stop though? So maybe they could do that. Go into the map and say there always needs to be. But again, then you're dealing with, if it's a predetermined danger zone, and you're outside of it, or you're spawning or whatever, that guy could just know where you're going to spawn. I had a game where I had 2 lives. The opponent had none. The opponent had overshield and killed me and just kept getting power-ups, and I had no chance. I lost. Yeah, that doesn't seem like that seems not in the spirit of the mode. That doesn't seem like it's in the spirit of the mode. For somebody to win because they're getting power-ups and you're dead, and they're just running a loop of power-ups, that seems absolutely busted. That doesn't seem like it's the spirit of the mode. Is who can be the scrappiest and most versatile player. Like, think about it. There's 2 things that are distinctively against the spirit of the mode. Number 1, you don't have to switch your weapon. That doesn't make any sense. Like, letting you just skip from Mangler to shotgun or from Mangler to BR just seems absolutely bonkers. It's like, what? That's the whole point of a mode like that, is you have to, on the fly, change your strategy, your engagement movement, your like how close you got to be to somebody, how good is your aim or whatever. Like, you've got to, on the fly, change like that and be efficient. That's the whole point. And the fact that you can be like, get a kill and then Mangler all the way to shotgun, you know, I don't know. That seems to grate against the spirit of the mode. And then you're going to get into the end and have what happened with Tom Schmidt, like what Tom is saying in chat. Yeah, I got all the way to the end. I had 2 lives and I lost. I didn't get outplayed. The guy had an overshield and he killed me, ran around, got another power up. Like, what am I supposed to do against that? There's a respawn timer. I could not tell you. I'll re-download it for Friday night game night, taking place on the 13th. Open to all members. Always a good time on game night. Oh, thank you, Butters. Yeah, for those of you that are not a channel member, we are doing community game night once a month for members. Last month we did Fortnite. This month it's Halo Infinite. Friday the 13th, next week, Friday night, custom games. We got to get in touch with Expiry. He made some of the best custom games. If you've not a member yet, consider becoming a member. Click that join button. It's $5 a month. It gets you access to all the extra members-only content that we do, including the Friday night streams, which most of the time on Friday nights, it's me and my wife playing games, laughing, having some drinks with you guys, and then once a month, it's community game night. Also, we have a goal of 6 members a day. That'll get us really close to our monthly member goal where we make Madam play something. We're going to make Madam play Elden Ring if we can get to 600 members. Always enjoy the content, by the way. Great discussions and debates. Thank you, Tom. It's so fun to play on game nights, always just dying of laughter. Everything's lighthearted. Yeah, it's been fun in the past. Just curious, why are people calling this a BR? Watching the mode doesn't resemble a BR. I don't know why anybody's calling it a BR. Let's make something perfectly clear. Halo Last Spartan Standing is not a BR. It's not. Now, they may be using Last Spartan Standing to test Battle Royale mechanics. Danger Zone is very clearly pulled right from a Battle Royale, okay? Now, the aspect of getting kills and going up in your weaponry, then there are people that think they're going to do that in the Battle Royale. Because track with me here. On paper, it's a really great idea to say, everybody starts with the same weapon, and as you get kills, you move up in weapon, I guess quality is how I would say it. The efficacy of the weapons gets better as you go up. Sort of. It's hard to say the Mangler is like number 2. I just don't buy that. In any case, I could see them doing that in the Battle Royale and it working out really, really well. Why? Because there's no RNG. If you get to the end and someone has a better weapon than you, they earned it. They got more kills than you. They took the risk. Risk reward would actually be very much in balance if you get to the end of a Battle Royale and you're like, man, I just couldn't find anybody. That's the RNG element. That would be the RNG element of like, I couldn't find anybody to get kills. I would have. I 100% would have engaged more, but I couldn't find anybody. But at the very least, you're not getting to the end of a Battle Royale and losing because they found a better weapon. If they have a better weapon, you know for a fact they earned it. They got kills. They played aggressive. And I think that's actually a pretty good idea. If that's not their idea, then someone needs to steal that idea. If that is not Halo Infinite's plan for Battle Royale, then someone needs to steal that idea because it's dadgum brilliant. Like, think about it. Everybody drops with a chintzy sidearm, and bam, bam, bam. So it's even Steven on the drop. Some guy goes into a house and gets a shotgun, and comes out and blasts you, and you're standing there with nothing. No. You at least have a fighting chance. Everybody drops with a sidearm. And you could obviously put I don't know, limited, maybe not limited ammo on it or something. Forget that. I was just getting ready to say maybe you could have it to where you couldn't use it right away, but that would be a terrible idea. You have to be able to use it, because if not, arbitrary timers on weapon usage would be stupid. So my brain rejected the idea almost as soon as I had the idea. So everybody drops with the same weapon, and as you get kills, you move up the weapon ladder. And if you don't like certain weapons, you could go backwards. You could say, well, I actually think this AR is better than this AR, even though this one's of higher quality. The shooting pattern or whatever on this one is preferred. You wouldn't have to, right? Call of Duty does this? I don't know. It motivates players to engage rather than hide. 100% agree. That's why I think this mode is going to motivate people to hide. Because I think two things. Why aren't you playing Trek to Yomi? I'll be playing it this afternoon. Why are you asking me like I'm supposed to do something based on your expectations? That kind of a question is so odd to me. Like, why aren't you playing Trek to Yomi? Because I do a talk show every morning. Like, if you've never been here in the 7 months we've streamed on this channel, it's always a talk show in the morning. Unless it's a major game launch, we start the day with a talk show. Have always done that. don't know if we'll ever change that aspect of what we do. Motivating players to engage, I'm actually concerned that the current structure won't do that because the abilities on the map combined with getting a mangler second. I'm telling you, my prediction is this becomes a camp fest. It becomes a camp fest. Why? Only one person can have whatever power up. Like, you're all gonna bum rush for it, right? It's gonna feel like Hunger Games, right? Everybody's rushing for it. You're taking all this risk, and then if you get it and there's a bunch of people around, it kind of negates the power up because you're getting shot by 3 or 4 people. I think this game mode leads to camp. I think giving people mangler second, and I think giving too many power ups on the map is going to drive passivity way up. Way up. That's my prediction. Guys, if you've never been here before, smash the like button. If you want to talk in the chat, hit subscribe. Those of you who are on TikTok, let me know what you think as well. We love hearing from people about what they think. It's a daily interactive talk show. Halo, let's do a poll here. Halo Infinite Season 2. Let's see. Thoughts so far. Good? Is it good? Average or bad? Good, average, or bad? Where do you rate the new season so far? If you dove back in, Halo Infinite Season 2, is it good, average, or bad? I'm gonna give it a solid average. It's like, okay, you made some improvements. There's good things here. I see promise for this game. But buddy, there's some just ground level, just bad stuff here. Trek to Yomi looks fun. Just wish it was longer than 5 hours. I couldn't even play it this morning. I installed it with Game Pass and it wouldn't let me play it. So even if I wanted to, I don't know if I can play it right now. It's probably going to be available at noon. It's available for noon to install, I think, on Steam at noon. The Battle Royale, you'll gain personal score by killing people, doing missions, and killing PvE in order to buy weapons, vehicles, and equipment at the FOB stations. Is that information you've seen, heard, or is leaked? I've not heard that until now. When you say they're going to work on cores, is that the colors on the armor attachments? I'm curious if you notice most of the new Battle Pass armor pieces only work on the Rat Core. Yes. Well, no, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I think they're going to do away with the armor cores with respect to armor coatings. But as far as like the pieces that attach, that's not going to go away. Think about it. That's not an armor core thing. That's an armor piece thing. What they'll likely let you do is have a samurai helmet with the Mark 7 chest. Right? You see what I'm saying? And that chest has its own attachments. You're not going to be able to take a samurai attachment and put it on a Mark 7 chest. That's what I think they're going to do. They're going to get rid of the cores, meaning you can mix and match. You can have an armor coating you can apply to anything instead of having an armor coating that only applies to Mark 7. But when you put on a particular helmet or chest piece, that helmet or chest piece has attachments that are designed for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a helmet, and like this thing attaches to the side, top, or the visor, the mask, or the mouth, or whatever. That's not going to go away. That would be silly. Oh, I really like this antenna that I can put on the side of this helmet. I really wish I could put this on the side of the samurai helmet. No, that's an unreasonable expectation. That's not how it's designed. Good, bad, average based on the standard of Halo Infinite or the standard of the general market. Is this season decent enough to keep the numbers somewhat up for 6 months? No. I don't think any game can have good numbers for 6 months on a season. I don't think that's, I mean, unless you have a really popular game, like a BR or something, like a super popular BR is probably okay. If Fortnite suddenly did like a 6-month season, I don't think they would just all of a sudden fall all the way down the stairs like, oh my gosh, we can't get anybody to play. I think they would, if you could track their player numbers, you would see a noticeable player decline later in the season. The farther you got, you would 100% see that. You would see a decline in the player pool, because that's just a really, really long time to not have anything new going on. I'm not going to lie. I'm not trying to be mean. I disagree with everything you've said. Make an argument. Yeah, I don't care if people disagree with me. Do you honestly think my expectation is to sit down and have everybody agree with me? Trot out your argument. Why don't you agree with me? So far, average, says Tom. These drop pods will hopefully come with some awesome content. They need to get rid of the core customization ASAP. Like, the good news is they have said they're committed to shorter seasons. That is a huge uptick in quality almost instantly. They have said that they are committed to removing the cores, removing the core system. Okay, that's good as well. Okay, let's set those things aside. I think Last Spartan Standing is somewhat slapped together. Helmet attachments aren't built for that. Yes, but we've already seen how good they fit on other helmets with glitches, so they could totally do that. No, okay, but no. It could look good, but that's an unreasonable expectation. When the geometry of a helmet, let's say you got a real fat, beefy, tanky helmet, and they create this visor attachment for it. Expecting to put that on the samurai helmet is an unreasonable expectation. It's a modification for an existing piece of armor. That doesn't make any sense to be like, no, I should be able to put that on any helmet. No. You're going to end up with render glitches. Have you ever played a game where the rendering glitches and something like stretches and breaks halfway across the map? You can't have that. You need to have well-designed pieces of equipment in the game, or it can cause performance issues. You can't just have random pieces floating out in front of their face or like floating next to their head. You can't have that. The geometry of the helmet is designed, and then they like attach some crazy weird thing to it, like a mouthpiece or some antenna on the side or some weird camera up on top. That's being upset about the armor core system is completely legitimate. Thinking that the armor core system is somehow attachments, that's not, no, you're equating things that are not equal. Yo, it's good, Zubair. No one's saying attachments are going to be interchangeable. Yeah, I was just making sure and specifying that, like, when they get rid of the armor core system, attachments are still designed for particular pieces of equipment. That's not going to go away. They're going to get rid of the armor core system so that, like, if you want to make something orange, you don't have to earn it 7 times. You don't need to earn or buy the color orange for every core. They could always make a few restricted to some helmets, ones that especially don't fit, but plenty of them do that, so I agree. A lot of them could be cross-core. Listen, this is how they would do it, Mike. What you're saying is, I think, falling short. You need to go further with what you're saying. If they get rid of the core system, they could then create versatile attachments that can go on every piece of armor, and all of the legacy attachments will continue to work as they are. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, let's say they came out with an armor set that was very much inspired by, I don't know, like a honeycomb pattern, and it kind of made you look like an insect. You kind of look like like a bee or something. You look like a hornet or something. And the attachments to the armor would clearly be inspired by that armor set, but they would design them in such a way that they could, like, magnetically just stick to any armor piece that you want to put them on. But clearly it's designed for this set. They could, in going forward, do what you're saying. I think I'm in agreement there. That's actually better economically, right? They're creating a better demand for something. Because if you're like, man, I think that bee armor looks corny as frick, but that attachment's dope. If I could attach it to my Mark 7 or my samurai gear or whatever, that attachment's actually pretty awesome. I would buy that, but you see what I'm saying? They could potentially have greater demand for their cosmetics if they were more versatile. But I think anybody who right now is like, oh, they're getting rid of the armor core system, I'm going to be able to move attachments around, I would not set that expectation in your mind, because I don't see that happening with the current way attachments are designed. I totally forgot they were making people pay for colors for each set. I totally forgot they thought doing that was a good idea. Thanks for that reminder. I didn't think they said they were getting rid of armor cores. They just said that coatings and some other stuff is cross-core. Maybe I should say it differently. That's probably a good word, Steely. They're not getting rid of the armor core system. They're going to remove some of the armor core restrictions for cosmetics. They're going to create more cross-core cosmetics so that you don't feel you need to get orange for every core. Because I definitely think the core system is a good idea. Because you can say, hey, for this event, this season, this whatever, look at this armor core. Isn't this awesome? And it's like this complete package with all these customizations and different versions, and it's very thematic. I think some of the stuff this season looks awesome. I'm like, oh, that's dope looking stuff. Well, you're going to really water it down if you just get into armor attachments or individual armor pieces. I think the armor core system actually has potential. It just needs to be done in a way that doesn't make the player feel like they're getting squeezed for, a nickel every time they turn around. Oh, I gotta buy orange again. I'm fine with the attachments not being universal, but I want them to separate pieces to be universal, like samurai arms with Mark V helmet and so on. I think that's what they should do. If Steely's right, and all they're really planning on doing is creating cross-core customization, then I don't think that's going far enough. I think if you want to wear your Mark 7 and throw on a samurai helmet, you should be able to do that. Why? Listen, if people of 343, hear me. Hear me. If you want to sell cosmetics, you've got to enable the player to do what they want. If you want people to play your game, you have to empower them to do what they want. Like, that's the ticket. You can't keep doing this restrictive dictation to the player. It doesn't work. No one's ever done that. No one has ever done this micromanagement before of a player base and succeeded. You come and play as much as you want. Earn as much as you want. We don't give a frick. Limited time events, sure. You got to do it within the confines of the event window, but nobody's like, oh no, you're done for the day. You're out of this, or oh, you want to earn that? You got to go do these challenges that have nothing to do with it, and then you'll get more challenges for the event. People of 343, hear me now. You will never hold a player base with this bull. Level up, get worse weapon. That's why gun game, you have to get a kill with each weapon. By definition, it's a battle royale. I don't know. Last Spartan Standing is not a battle royale because you have lives. No, it's free for all. It's free for all with lives, Paul. Free for all is not called a battle royale. And in most free for alls, you have infinite respawn. So because they limit how many times you can respawn, that makes it a battle royale. Or is it the shrinking zone that makes it a battle royale? Battle royale is generally described as a game where everybody drops on the map and they have to pick up random items, and if you die, you're done. You're out. That's like the birth of a battle royale. Yo, what's good, Sean? How are you? Grim Brother says, you can mix Mark 7, this, and Merkasha, but not Yori and Eagle Strike. Wait, can you do that right now? You can mix armor pieces already? I would imagine they would just continue to remove those restrictions then. I want to make this clear. They stated that cross-core customization is for the foreseeable future, is only for canon cores, like Mark 7, 5, and Rakasha. So they're not going to, he doesn't miss. What is Pico talking about? Oh, that guy. I know. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good skit. You can mix armor effects, not armor pieces. It looks to me like a BR with extra steps. If you guys are enjoying today's show, do me a favor. Smash the like button. Take our poll at the top of the chat. Let's go for 200 likes on the video. Halo Infinite Season 2, thoughts so far. Is it good, average, or bad? Most people are saying average, then bad. Not a lot of people are saying good. Cast your vote if you want to sway the poll. I'm giving my Halo Infinite Season 2 review. At the beginning of this video, I walked through the good, the bad, the room for improvement. I actually think they've got good things here to build on. They've just really got to shorten seasons, and they've got to be a little bit more polished with their game modes. Last Spartan Standing has a lot of flaws in it. After 6 months, that mode should be flawless, and it's not. Let's make the whole customization process so convoluted that no one will even want to buy cosmetics. That's what I'm saying. Like, no one's going to want to do it if it seems confusing and restrictive. It's like you're checking all of the wrong boxes. Customization should be very, very free. Like, not free as in free money, but like it should be very, very customizable. It should be up to the player. You want to look like somebody climbed out of a garbage heap and you got 8 different armor pieces on, yeah, go for it. Who cares? That's going to motivate people to want to spend money. You're going to see something new. They're going to see some new piece, some new whatever. Rakshasa. I'm just reading what people in chat are putting. They're putting Roxa or whatever. Yeah, it's Rakshasa. Guys, don't forget, we don't run ads on this channel unless I literally step away, which I do once a stream. That's why we push membership so hard. I know the spending culture on YouTube really isn't there. We're having to kind of foster that. We foster that with incentives like we are doing a members only stream this afternoon. It's an extra stream. I don't want people thinking that like we constantly take content away from you. It's not. It's an extra stream. Friday nights with my wife is a members only stream. And next week, once a month, we do community game night. Okay. Next week, Friday the 13th is community game night. Halo Infinite custom games. If you've never done a membership on a channel before, we can make it's real simple. It's $5 a month. You get a badge and chat, emotes, and then you get access to our members only content as well as other sections in our Discord. We are trying to hit a member goal this month. My wife's been talking a lot of smack, and we're going to make her play Elden Ring if we hit a member goal, okay? You can click the join button. There's a link in the description below that says, become a member, or you can type !join in the chat. We're trying to get about 6 new members a day. Also, don't forget the coffee. If you're a coffee drinker and you've never tried coffee with balanced acidity, you should try our coffee. This is not a sponsor. It's in my house. My wife and kiddos ship it to you. You're basically supporting a small business. So if you're a coffee drinker, you really got to try it. If you've never had coffee with balanced acidity, give it a try. Cores, in my opinion, are so ugly. The only thing I want from the new season is the Dino Teeth visor. I really liked a lot of the cosmetics, actually, on the Battle Pass. I wish the Battle Pass was not so awful and slow. I really do, because I would play. There was like the big bulky shoulders. There was the shoulders that are like skeletons. There were some really, really nice helmets. I would look completely different. I mean, I would completely change. I wouldn't even look like a Spartan anymore if I could get to the end of that Battle Pass. It's just unfortunately, I cannot do. They demand something of me that I can't give them. I simply can't give them that kind of that kind of engagement. It just isn't possible. It is not possible for me to log in and in that sort of like that daily login, method. There's just no way. Progression is terrible. It's been improved, but we need to be rewarded for playing the game as well. Dino Teeth visor like the Red Ranger. It does kind of look like the Red Ranger. I didn't even realize that. It does. It does look like the Red Ranger. The challenges have been changed for the better, though. I had at least 3 people this morning, Mo, say that there was challenges that they were infuriated by. So I don't know if that's true. I mean, well, maybe not that it's not true. I don't know if everybody agrees with that. There's probably different perspectives on the challenges. What do you guys think of the challenges? Would be my question. Do you feel like the challenges have improved? Do you feel like they've made it better? Do you feel like they've made it to where you can really enjoy the game? Or do you feel like they're still bad? Okay, Trek to Yomi is now playable on my Xbox. Okay, good. It is on Game Pass. So is there's 2 games on Game Pass I'm going to try and get recordings for First Look, I think. One's called Loot River, one's called Unsold. Creature wanted me to do Unsold a while ago, and I just completely forgot to, and then they just threw it on Game Pass. So we're going to try and feature like Game Pass games and and PS Plus games as often as we can. I just have to make time to do the recordings. It seems wild that they launched a game where it's possible to clap in a game, get a W with the team, and still only earn 100 XP for the daily challenge. Feels bad, man. Challenges were more doable but not fun and a tad unfair when you can only do 4 at a time. The challenges are dumb, says Reckless. If there were more ways to get XP, they'd be fine. You own the Battle Pass forever. It never goes away. You can activate any Battle Pass any season. Oh, I know that, T4H. I could definitely see going back and doing them. That's a question, isn't it? Yo, Maddie Jarvis with a tip through YouTube Super Chat. Thank you for that. The new maps are top tier, though. I agree with you, Grim Brother. I think the maps are good. I do. I think 343 is good at designing maps. I said that in the open. I did. I said that in the show open today. Maddie says cross-core customization is a must, but I'd like to see them keep multiple slots so you can have multiple setups for your Spartan. Thank you for the tip again, Maddie. I appreciate that. Who's going to be the first member of the day? Who's going to be the first coffee order of the day? Come on, let's see it. Let's see what we got. How close are we to 200 likes? We need 200 likes on the video as well. Pressing like and subscribe is free. If you like the show, be sure to hit subscribe. It costs nothing to subscribe to the channel. I'm here Monday through Friday doing a variety gaming talk show like this. We talk about all kind of different games. We will be playing Trek to Yomi this afternoon. Brand new game that launched today. Side-scroller, black and white, like samurai game. So make sure you're subscribed for that. If I'm ever not in your recommended or homepage, check your subscription feed in my channel. We're live every day. Even if I'm not in those places, be sure to check for me in your sub feed as well as my channel. Sorry, off topic. Did you ever say you were going to play? Oh, yeah. You just got that answer. Unintentionally. I still miss the Halo Reach style of leveling up, says Dodevas. Payout at the end of each match is based on your win-loss and performance. It constantly made you want to go on and do an extra match. There is something about that when you're playing a game. So if I dive into Halo Infinite gameplay, if I dive in, and I just have a crazy game I pop off. A great example, my second Last Spartan Standing game, I won. I won. It was amazing. It was an amazing feeling. It was like, oh my gosh, the game just launched. I tried out the first game, didn't really know what I was doing, was confused on the map. Second game, I knew the map, figured it out. Good strategy, good use of angles in the outer ring. Didn't go center, so I didn't get pinched. Just applied basic map strategy and knowledge. Win the game. And I get nothing extra to show for it other than pride. I was like, yeah, man. No, you should have dumped XP on me. You should have dumped XP on me. I won. I won Last Spartan Standing. There, now shut up. There it is. Unatoned Gaming, first member of the day. Guys, listen, shove Unatoned off the top right now. He's on the top of the chat. Shove him off there. Become a member and push him away. Push him out of there. Honestly, I enjoyed the Master Chief Collection progression system. How they strayed so far from a system that already worked boggles my mind. Is Halo Infinite's campaign better than previous games? Halo Infinite's campaign is better than Halo 5 by a large margin, yes. You get that feeling of accomplishment? Poopsack says, here for my daily Poopsack call out. Hi, chat. I've said it before, the XP you get for playing, they need to implement a way to add that to the pass. What do you mean by that, Mo? Like your pass is always moving? Here's my question for you, Steely Alpha, because I'm new. I'm not new to Halo, but like I didn't do Master Chief Collection, all right? I didn't do Master Chief Collection. So answer me this question. The progression system in the Master Chief Collection, when did they start to get it right? Was it really close to Halo Infinite launching, or did they have it right for a really long time? And the reason I'm asking this question is the Halo Infinite Battle Pass may have been developed in sort of a vacuum of this team's working on it. And there's a separate team working on Master Chief Collection trying different things. When it came to PC, was that significantly before Infinite launched, or was it close to the launch of Infinite? I mean, I guess how close were the two? I'm just imagining two different teams working from a Battle Pass philosophy, and the Master Chief team is learning all this stuff, implementing player feedback. And the Halo Infinite team is over here, like, completely divorced from all that feedback. They've had this since they started the Battle Pass, years. So would you say that there's no excuse? There's literally no excuse. They should have known how to do a good Battle Pass progression system. There was plenty of time for anybody to observe and know about the player feedback of the Master Chief Collection Battle Pass. So the Halo Battle Pass, as it was introduced and existed, was so far before Infinite that there's no excuse. There's literally no excuse. Okay. I always try to give a potential situation where, like, maybe this is what happened. Maybe they were working in separate teams, sort of siloed, and what 343 came up with for Halo Infinite's Battle Pass and the Master Chief Collection Battle Pass are so separate. They're on, like, separate trajectories. But you guys are saying, no, there's no excuse. I think 2 years. So, yeah, absolutely no excuse. Yeah, everybody knows that good artists steal, okay? And then we could get into, like, the moral and ethical dilemma there of, like, people using other people's stuff. But, like, it's your own game. Steal from it. I don't know if this pushes him out, but yes, Chris, renewing your membership shoved him over. Yes. Let's keep members at the top of the chat. Somebody else press that join button, man. Exclamation point join in the chat. Become a member. Let's hit our daily goal. Let's at least get to 500, unlock an emote, and then we can set our sights on 600 so my wife has to play Elden Ring. And then you can join us for community game night next week. Similar to the Master Chief Collection, Match Composer being the best system Halo has ever seen, then 343 launches Infinite with 3 playlists. So for some reason they are choosing to integrate a crappy battle pass, says Crowded House. Steely says, it's also crazy that they listened to the community so much and pushed out changes so fast for the Master Chief Collection progression changes, but clearly haven't done that for Infinite. That's why, okay, so a couple of months ago, I did a video and it was entitled, it was basically Halo Infinite Something's Wrong, okay? Halo Infinite Something is Wrong. And my theory is that whatever they did going to this new engine, okay, whatever they did has caused an absolute logjam of productivity. It's an absolute freaking logjam. They can't do the most minute or quick change. It just is. It's seemingly impossible. It is seemingly impossible. It's like, well, how do you not just change this? Just give more XP or something. The excuse is this is free to play. Master Chief Collection isn't. Well, hang on a second, Mo. This being free to play and Master Chief Collection not being free to play doesn't excuse them for a bad idea, right? That doesn't make any sense. Like, if you have a working product over here with a good system and it costs money, and you come over here and you're making a free product, why would you not glean from over here? You've learned so much over here. Why wouldn't you? I don't understand. Why wouldn't you do that? I remember the UI can't handle it for the core feedback at launch. Yeah, that's my concern, is that there is something about this engine, there is something about the foundation of this game that prevents 343 from updating Halo Infinite effectively. That's my thought process on it. It's, listen, you should be able to, after 6 months, implement more player feedback. Like, where's the player feedback? I don't understand. How do you not have an update to all the various systems that are in the game? The battle pass, the progression, the challenges. It just doesn't make any sense. I actually was, maybe I shouldn't have been thinking this, but I was thinking, oh man, they're going they're 100% going to be bringing some good changes to the challenges and XP and Battle Pass progression. Now, I still knew that the Battle Pass progression was probably going to be kind of slow because it was a 6-month season, but I expected some level of an update. It's like, you guys have had 6 months, man. Now's the time to really show people you're committed to implementing that player feedback. If you're having trouble with completing interference event challenges in Halo Infinite, for the complete matches challenge not counting, do not leave the match even if you're eliminated. Oh, really? Because it tells you you can. You're not penalized, but it'll jack up the challenge. Hey, somebody ordered some coffee. First coffee order of the day. 2 bags of light roast to Sean. Thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate that. We got 1 coffee order and we got 1 member starting the day right. We want to see 6 of each. 6 members and 6 coffee orders a day. So we got, let's go. Who's up? Who's next? The Master Chief system, the Master Chief Collection system actually really would have worked for free-to-play monetization with minor tweaks. Like, it had credits used to buy things in the Battle Pass, so it would have fit perfectly. For just getting kills in the mode, you can leave. Okay. You can leave without penalty, but it doesn't really count as a completion. Have they commented on why they do it this way? No. Like, if I was to interview 343 and be like, okay, when's the next Halo Infinite update coming out? When is it? You know, you got these drop pods coming. Okay, cool. Now, my question is this. Why is it taking so long to do basic implementation of player feedback? Like, what's the holdup? Is it engine level? Do you guys have like a pipeline problem? Is there a bandwidth issue? Is it a leadership issue? You got to troubleshoot what this is. Like, what's going on? It shouldn't take this long to implement player feedback for a live service game. The challenge does progress, says Grim Brother, but not until the match is over, so it may not show right away. Why they resolve that when the game finishes and you complete your next game. Why do they resolve when the game finishes and you can complete your next game? I'm not sure what you're saying, Hilly. I love the game too. I'd grind out the progression system if it wasn't so annoying. Distorted says, not always. I did 5 in a row and it counted... I did 5 in a row and it counted none of them. If it's engine level, I feel like that's an easy get out of jail free card. I don't think that's a get out of jail free card. I think that's a potential death sentence. It's a potential death sentence. What do you, if it's engine level, even after restarting the game, sometimes it fixes and sometimes it doesn't. Huh. I honestly think Microsoft should give the Halo IP to one of their other studios. ID Software seems like a good choice. I actually don't agree with that. Let me defend them a little bit here, okay? I want to defend 343 a little bit because I know everybody is sort of, down on 343, down the season, hand the IP to somebody else, all of the various things that people sort of say about them. I actually think it's not that 343 can't handle Halo. It's that the leadership in charge leading up to bringing Joseph Staten in essentially set this game on a path of struggle. It was going to hobble. It was going to struggle. It was going to limp right out of the gate. And that has nothing to do with 343, the team. It has nothing to do with the people working on the game right now. I think they can get this game into a good place. I do. I want you to imagine right now that Season 2 was a 3-month-long season. A lot of what we're saying wouldn't feel as significant. I actually think the problems feel more significant because there's almost like this hopelessness of this season's going to last 6 months and this is, and we're already encountering problems. If the season was lasting 6 months, that instantaneously makes a lot of these problems not as significant. They wouldn't feel as big. They wouldn't feel like they loom so large over the game. You'd say, listen, Last Spartan Standing needs some tweaks. There's some weird stuff going on with it, whatever. Make people go to the next weapon. Don't spawn people outside the danger zone. Things like that, right? again, I can't really excuse some of that. Some of that just seems absolutely lack of oversight and forward thinking, but whatever. If the season was 3 months long, I think a lot of the other things wouldn't... You'd be able to endure some of the other things because you'd be having fun. You'd be having a sense of progression. You'd be having a sense of movement and unlock. We need 25 more likes for 200 likes. Let's push real quick for 200 likes on the vid. Thank you guys so much. We love to see a nice 200 like push before we get to like the hour mark of the stream. I just feel like this game is hopeless because it's the engine and they can't fix it fast enough. Without Joseph Staten, 343 would have never gotten Halo out the door. Joe got dumped a lot of work to build a dev team. Oh, Joe, maybe he dumped a lot of work? I'm not sure what you're saying. Well, he got dumped a lot of work to build the dev team while fixing the Halo issues. Gotcha. It still wasn't counting, says Distorted. I restarted the game, no update. After that, I stayed to the end of the matches and it was counting. Woo! Trying not to sneeze. I literally booted up on TikTok this morning and instantly sneezed like 4 or 5 times. It was terrible. I felt bad for anybody who happened to be in the stream right away. I was like, what is happening right now? I really hope they can get it together. Infinite was my favorite campaign and the multiplayer is fun. I just can't do another season pass with the current system. When Halo Infinite Season 2 launched, we went through that season pass and I had nothing but good things to say. I was like, all this stuff looks so good. Like, it looks really, really good. It's kind of like, it would be like getting into, an RV and be like, oh, it's really nice in here. This is really great. And someone would be like, I'm glad you like it. You're going to live in here for the next 2 weeks, cross-country road trip. And I'm like, could we do 1 week? Like, that just sounds too long. You know what I mean? Like, 2 weeks. Like, it's not what they're making. The new maps are good. Last Spartan Standing has potential. It was really fun when I played it. Now, I didn't run into the meta. I didn't run into what people are going to start doing. They're going to start abusing the drops. They're going to start camping. There's going to be issues with people hiding out to the final danger zone, and then you get spawned outside the danger zone. Like, there is so much potential. It's like, you guys are getting some things right. Think about what's going to make a live service game like Halo, like, successful. What's going to make it successful? A really good content loop and a sense of progression. Those are the two things that makes a live service basically go. That's the engine. You have to have that sense of progression. You're getting stuff, you're unlocking stuff, new cosmetics, big thumbs up. Then you have to have a good content loop. Those two things feed each other. If I'm enjoying the gameplay and having a good time, but there's no sense of progression, you just short-circuited the content loop. If my sense of progression is great, but your game modes are in disarray or not that fun, that breaks it. It's breaks. It's like, well, I'm not enjoying the content loop. Those two things feed each other. What's the issue? I have level 9 on the event with 1 challenge left on the event and done everything on the normal multiplayer challenges. You move much faster on progression now. But that's not what everybody in the chat is saying. That experience is not shared, Hilly. Plenty of people in chat have talked about they couldn't get the challenges completed. They didn't like the challenges weren't working right. There were plenty of people in chat just today saying, I don't like the challenges are still annoying, I couldn't get the challenge done, whatever. Bless you, thank you, Sean. It's fine that, see, that I think that's what's happening, Hilly, is like a player like you just love the game so much, you make it work. You make it work. You get in and you work within the systems that are there and you make it work. Everybody else isn't doing that. They're not going to do that. I shouldn't even have to think about a challenge. You're starting from the wrong position. You're like, well, I did all the challenges and I got all this stuff. I'm level 9. Things are going swell for me. No, you're already behind the 8 ball. You're already behind the 8 ball. I shouldn't have to do that. I should just be able to boot up and be like, yo, let's go. What's the event? Oh, it's this. Oh, cool. Let me look at the cosmetics. Dope. All right. How do I get the unlocks? Oh, I gotta go play Last Spartan Standing. Cool. Boom. And they jump in and go. Like, it's... And the challenges should just be extra. It's so simple. It's so simple that it hurts. It actually hurts. Like, God, you guys are right there. You're this close. You're this close. I saw a video flashback on Facebook. I literally opened up Facebook just to see the old pictures and videos that my wife posted of my kids when they were babies. I want to see my babies. I want to see them doing baby stuff because now they're old and mouthy and, you know, they're still cute and I love them to death, but they're not doing baby stuff anymore, you know. They're doing, you know, they're talking back and saying no. So there was a video of my daughter and she was trying to get this water bottle. And there were so many times you're watching the video and she's this close to getting it. She's crawling on the ground. She's doing that cute, adorable, heavy baby breathing thing, you know, where they're getting kind of frustrated and they're breathing out of their mouth and she's getting kind of flustered and she eventually gets there. It's like, that's how I feel with 343. I'm like, you guys are right there. You're just, it's just this close. It's right there. The challenge system is actually not bad in and of itself. Do all these challenges and get this weekly reward. Boom, thumbs up, stamp that. Nice idea. That's a good system. Having challenges to move through an event. That's not bad at all, man. Just put it on its own page. Just put it on its own page. So if I only want to work on those challenges, I can. Oh, and by the way, that's just to speed up me moving through the event. If I just want to play, that's okay. You have to make a variety of engagement styles and personality types work and flourish. That's how a game like this is successful. Fortnite is almost obscene about it. You've got the crew, you've got the battle pass, you've got the daily challenges, you've got the seasonal challenges, the weekly challenges, the progressive armor unlocks. Like it's almost too much in Fortnite. But the reason that works in Fortnite is, homie, you can literally do whatever the frick you want and you're probably unlocking something. It's a little much sometimes because like you finish a match and they're like, you get a star and you get sprinkles and you unlock the universe and you unlock the jetpack and you now own a house in Cabo. And it's like, settle down. Settle down. I just played one match, right? In the middle of the match, sometimes it's like, level up, bing, burr, 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 burr. It's like, okay, calm down, Fortnite. Halo needs to kind of, don't become Fortnite. Okay, don't become Fortnite, but you got to move closer to this. You're all the way over here. You're like a stingy nun rapping me on the knuckles. Like I'm supposed to play in a certain way, and if I don't, I'm getting like punished for it. That doesn't work, man. With that, says Sean, would you entertain a member-only dad edition where we get together and talk dad life? Oh, I don't know, Sean. I don't know. We'll have to have kind of a family meeting, some housekeeping later about some realizations we've come to. Hey, somebody just gave me a key. Thank you for... Oh, no, is that a mic? That's a golden mic. Thank you, Deaf Side, for the golden mic over there on TikTok. I still can't find the cable that I need to have my iPhone up there for a good camera and then able to see what's happening on my screen. I can't find a cable that does it. I need a lightning cable for my iPhone that does the webcam, USB, and HDMI. I need those two slots, and I can't find it. The only ones I find are aftermarket, and they get bad reviews. I don't know if Apple even makes an official cable that does both. And I don't know if a lightning splitter would do it. Like, this game is broken. If one more player teleports behind me, I'm going to have a mental breakdown, and everyone sweats for no reason. It's like you're leveling up and doing that for no reason. Well, I'm never ever going to get on people for sweating. Like, you can't really... I get where you're coming from, Skull Cruncher. You get in the trenches, the game frustrates you, you feel like you're on the verge of breaking your controller, and like every little thing sets you off. I know where you are, right? You're in the valley of frustration and it's hard to get out. Everything the game does, everything the other players do, it's like it sets you off. Every time I touch brain, I explode, right? Like you're in the red. You're a mushroom cloud laying, just angry, irritated gamer. I know what that's like, but you can't. I don't necessarily think you can be. Oh, are we on the doorbell song? Here, I'll skip it. Sorry, chat. There we go. It's probably too late. You can't start to turn on players for playing sweaty, right? Like, oh, they're sweating. Now, if you're dealing with teleporting and all of that, I've not seen teleporting. There's consistent complaints about desync. We have seen that. Could we get 4 more likes? Oh, we're right there. 200 likes for the vid. 4 more likes. Let's go. And we've gotten 1 coffee order today and 1 new member. Let's get some more. You guys, I really want my wife to play Elden Ring. Come on. I appreciate that, says Zubair. I don't love this sweating either, but it's hard to move this much bulk around. I bought 1 battle pass in Call of Duty, get rewarded enough with skins, gun blueprints, and in-game credits if I grind enough to get the next battle pass for free. Things that are the most broken in Halo right now, says Josie, are desync and poor incentive to play. I hate shooting someone in front of me and they teleport behind me and then they get the back smack. So you're dealing with teleporting too, Josie. Someone said this a little bit ago in chat. They said the desync is worse. Is that being reported anywhere? Are we seeing a rise in desync? Is that being reported on Reddit, the forums? I've actually not heard that. So I'm genuinely asking if that's a problem. I played 2 games and I felt like everything was working fine, but again, that's so anecdotal and specific to me. That doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Would you be in favor of more per-match performance XP in exchange for less challenge XP? Grim Brother, I don't feel like they're in conflict. They need to complement one another. The challenges could be there for extra. The challenges could be there for, hey, if you do all these challenges, you get this great reward for the week. I think that's fine. Just give me XP every game. Just let me grind my face off if I want. I respect your views on parenting, says Sean. It was just a thought. If it ever happens, I'm there. I appreciate that. Direct your ire at the devs for promoting those playstyles, says Eugene. I've never seen teleporting and I play on PC, says Unatoned Gaming, but collision needs to be added because you miss a lot of melee. Desync is regional and based on connections, says Hilly. If this was a 3-month season, I think it's great. 6 months is not enough. Hoping for a few drop pod content drops. This is what I think they should have done. Personally, they should have said, "Hey, listen, we know a 6-month season. We know it's not ideal. We 100% get that. We are in agreement with you that a 6-month season is not ideal. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to implement progression systems of what this game will feel like when we're on a 3-month season. Now, we know this means players will get things done more quickly, but we think that's better than the alternative. I'm telling you, it seems counterintuitive, but if they implemented the progression systems of a 3-month season, even though the season has to last 6 months, it would have been celebrated, and you'd have, at the very least, 1 to 2 months of lots of good feedback, praise, lots of people playing and grinding, and then, yes, your 3rd month it would slow down, and then your 4th and 5th and 6th months, it would be very, very, very much a decline. It's already doing that anyway. Now, you could, in my opinion, you could do something in those final months to be like, hey, we realize that the average player has finished their battle pass. They've finished their stuff because we've updated the progression systems to be faster. but the season is still going for 6 months. So the 4th, 5th, and 6th month of the season, we're going to be doing, I don't know, like special somethings, special events, cosmetic things. I don't know, something. That would be better. It's far better to have people diving in when a season starts, getting this dopamine rush and this positive feeling in their brain. So even if they step away from the game, the memory and the impact is significantly more positive. So when season 3 comes, even though they have to wait a long time for season 3 to come, you have planted a seed in their mind that, hey, it's way better. People are like, oh man, season 2 was so fun, bro. I played like a maniac for like 4 or 5 weeks. It was great. I'm diving right back in. They have said the season length is too long. The progression is faster. In 2 months, most will have completed the battle pass. How have they made progression faster? I need that explained to me, Hilly, because I didn't see anything yesterday that made me feel like it was faster. Absolutely, says Reckless. I played 5 games, felt the flow of progression, and put the game back down. I've got other games that give me more juice for less squeeze. Yeah, I want to know, you keep saying that, Hilly. What have they done to make progression faster? Just lowered the requirements on challenges? Is that it? So I'm telling you, if you're going to keep running back to the challenge system, you're not even stepping on the landscape. You're not even engaging with what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about making the challenges better. You need base level progression. Get rid of this first 5 game nonsense. Get rid of that. That's so dumb. Just look, just every match is the same amount. I don't know, 250, 250, 250, 250, something like that. Just the XP daily rewards. See, no, yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. You're making that, you're creating that vibe of you gotta log in and play every day. You have to. I don't think that vibe works. I just don't. Because when we went through the Halo Battle Pass, right? Halo Infinite Season 2 hits, we dive in, and the first thing I did was, and this is what chat was asking for, it was actually funny, there were a couple people in chat that were like, dude, stop looking at the Halo Battle Pass, just jump into gameplay. And the minute I did that, a ton of people left. Why? Because that's what people wanted to see. They wanted to see that Battle Pass, okay? So I open up the Halo Battle Pass, I'm like, all right guys, Halo Infinite Season 2 is begun, let's look at all the rewards. And the whole time I'm going across this Battle Pass, I'm thinking, I want that, I'd like that. Well, that's pretty nice. Ooh, oh, I get all the way to, the 90s. Yo, 2 months of membership from Nobody. Thank you so much. Nobody, you the best. Guys, we need these. We need more members. Come on. We got to step up. We got to step up. My wife's not going to have to play Elden Ring if we don't step up. We got 1 new member today. Nobody just renewed. Nobody just renewed. That's funny to say. Nobody just renewed. Press that join button. Use the link in the description below. Order some coffee. We got 1 coffee order. What was I saying? Oh, the Battle Pass. So I get all the way to the end of the Battle Pass. I get all the way to the end, and I'm looking at it. And I'm thinking, I want all this stuff. Okay, so track with me here. They have successfully incentivized a non-Halo guy. Like, I'm not a big Halo guy. I like playing with you guys. Had a blast shoutcasting with Hilly, right? I love playing Halo with you guys. I actually enjoy Halo, but I'm not a Halo guy. So your art department does its job. I mean, they hit the ball out of the park. If you get a guy like me to look at all those cosmetics and say, I want to complete this Battle Pass. And I play 2 games. I look at the Battle Pass, I look at the XP payout, and I say, it's the same as it always was. Why? I can't see myself jumping back in until it's time for community game night. Can't see it. Rogue Necro with 5 months of membership. Pretty sure I've been a member for more than 3 months. Oh, well, nah, it's not showing the right amount of months to you guys. You guys always see a lower month count, and then the real month count hits chat. So, yeah, it's 5 months. You're right to be like, it's been longer than 3 months. If you're just tuning in and you're enjoying the show, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think about the season? Halo Infinite Season 2. Your thoughts so far. You can vote at the top of the poll. What do you think? Most people are saying that it's average. Some are saying it's good. Some are saying it's bad. We'd love to hear from you. Subscribing is totally free. And we appreciate everybody who has hit the subscribe button this morning. And we also appreciate everybody who has been smashing the like button and these member buttons. There's 2 months from Hambrick. It's Nerd Mother. Thank you, Nerd Mother, for 2 months of membership. I love seeing those gray badges. It means they're new members. They're newer members. I love seeing that. Just like I love seeing the long-standing ones, too. Progression feels the same, says Mobius. Hilly says, I don't think it's unfair for a game to ask players to play the game to get rewards. But it's not asking me to play the game to get the rewards. It's asking me to do specific things. That's why I said their challenge system is great in and of itself. In and of itself, I think the challenge system's awesome. Hey, come and do all this stuff. Yeah. If you do every one this week, if you're a super diligent player, you get this weekly reward. And sometimes those weekly rewards were really dope, right? The challenge system for the event, same deal. Throw that on its own page. In and of itself, I think that works. Like, hey, this is the event. The event's driving you to this game mode. Hey, when you're in that game mode, do these various things. All of that's totally fine. It's over here. It's fine. It's great. That works as a challenge system. But that's what it needs to be. It needs to be a challenge system, not the source of progression. Do you see, that's why I said it's like, oh my gosh, you guys you're right there. You've gotten all of this right. So just let it be a challenge system. And then come over here and say, automatic, certain amount of XP payout. Here's what they could do. This, if they have to work within the challenge system, let me give you a solution, 343. This is how you do it. You know how they have it so where every time you play a match, you get base level XP, and then that base level XP goes down every time, which is just, it's one of the worst ideas I think I've ever seen. It's one of the worst. One of the worst ideas I think I've ever seen. I think you get 250 a match. 250 a match. And then you have kill or point thresholds that if you contribute so much to that game mode, you get more. You get more XP. So there's like a 10 kill XP challenge that refreshes every time. So if you want to do it challenge based, that's fine. If it's easier for them to work within the existing confines of the system, that's your solution, 343. You go in and say, flat payout for every match. There are bonus XP payouts depending on number of kills, point contribution, whatever. So you could do something like 2 flag captures is worth, 100 XP or something. So what you're doing is you're using the challenge system to do 2 things. Incentivize engagement and incentivize engagement with the mode and how it works. And what's the player get? Rewarded for their contribution. And if they have a bad game, no worries, you still got your 250 baseline. That just, to me, it's like, well, yeah, that makes sense. That's how that's how the players should be treated. They have a system, work within the system. You don't gotta blow up the system and come up with a new one. No, I've never thought that was a good idea. Mr. Glum upgrading their membership to a tier 3. That is so generous. Thank you for doing that. My solution's more simple. 50 XP per game. A win gives 200. Performance can make players not play the OBJ. Right, what you would want to do, Hilly, is inside each game you'd have challenges. So once you're in a game with an OBJ, that's where the challenges would award you points. If you make people go into an OBJ game mode and they've got all these challenges for kill count, well, then they're not going to play the OBJ. They're going to sit in a dadgum corner and go for kills, and their team's going to be frustrated. I 100% agree with that. You don't want to motivate people to go into a game mode and not play the game mode. Like, you don't want to do that. Do I have this right? Lono loses the first game, gets 300, wins the second game, gets 200. He got less for winning. Yeah, in the current structure, it's just absolutely bad. If you play, we've done the math. We did the math. If you play 4 matches a night, Monday through Friday, that's 20 games. You will level up 4 times. You just ignore the challenges. You just boot up and you play 4 matches a night, Monday through Friday. You will level up 4 times. You played 20 matches. Let's say I work full time and I'm a college student, and the best time for me to play is on Saturday, and I slam out 20 games on Saturday, and I don't focus on the challenges. That's just not something I want to do. So I do the exact same thing that this other guy did. 20 matches, no challenges. You get like 1750. You don't even get enough for 2 levels. We both did the same thing. And I leveled once, almost twice, and this other guy leveled 4 times. That is a broken system. You can't defend it. Don't waste your time trying. They made this change early in season 1, and I said, this is inherently flawed, and here's why. Tons of people complained and said, I don't understand. You're basically giving me depreciating returns if I play for a long session. And here we sit after a 6-month season, and there that system sits still to this day. Convoluted and broken. It's like, that's a broken system, man. You can't treat players differently because of their ability to play more on one day and be like, oh, over here, this is Johnny on the spot. This is Master Chief Jr. He logs in every day and clocks his games. Why are you treating those players so differently? You're basically saying this is the type of customer that we want, which I think you can do to a certain degree. I actually think you can do that. To a certain degree, I think you can say, this is the type of customer that we want. This is the type of customer that we're marketing to. I don't think what they're doing is conducive to a healthy live service game. They have to show player numbers and sales, so they can't just let you finish the season early and stop playing the game. And since they have no better solution, this is what we are stuck with. After every single match right now, as we speak, they already tally XP. Just put that towards the pass. But people don't do the same thing all the time. I do the challenges and level up fine. Yeah, the beauty of what you just said, Mo, is I do this and I level up just fine. Good for you. Right? Good for you. What about everybody else? Like, you have to see the ticket to a successful live service game is to have a very full funnel. Do you think you're going to have a full funnel of players if everybody has to play in a particular way? I don't think so. I think it's completely counterproductive. Like, I'm not even being like entitled and complaining. I'm being strategic right now. I've got on my strategy hat. It's like, okay, listen, if I'm in a strategy meeting with 343, I am harping on this. Like, listen, you must allow a variety of players to feel a sense of accomplishment and progression. Shouldn't double XP be the cherry on top, not something that's absolutely necessary to make it feel right? I think more people are forgetting that you run out of challenges. You will not be done with it in a month. And Mo, I don't understand what you're saying. You're saying every match right now as we speak, they tally XP. You're saying just put that towards the pass. What do you mean? Your XP does go towards the pass. I'm not understanding what you're talking about. For the defenders, how has the system worked out so far? They choose to do it the way they do it. They will still level up, just not like me, but I hear what you were saying. Whenever I played Fortnite back in the day, I played it a lot. There was a time where I played Fortnite quite a bit. Whenever I played Fortnite back in the day, the thing that I noticed about that game, and this is one of the reasons I think it was so successful, is that it appealed to such a broad gamut of players. I was playing with like really young kids that were sweating, and they were nuts on the skill spectrum. I was playing with guys in their 30s like myself at the time. I'm 40 now. But at the time I was in my late 30s, and I was playing with guys that I could tell they were in their mid 30s or so. They had some kids. They were working dads. I played with moms. I played with like younger 20-somethings. There was this just wide gamut of player that just was like, this is fun. Very approachable game. And they all, everybody's dressed different. Everybody's doing different things. And I think the issue with Halo is they're currently they're building a game where your funnel will be full of Hillies and Moes. And there's nothing wrong with people like Hilly and Mo. They're diehard fans, right? They have been playing Halo since Halo came out. They love Halo. They get in and they make it work. And so I don't think, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I don't think you want a funnel full of just Hillies and Moes. You want a funnel full of Hillies and Moes and Lonos and casual Carls and dabble a bit Daves and play on the weekend Harrys, and you know what I mean? You need everybody in there that's just like, I like the game. Yeah, it's a good game. I enjoy it. Sorry you said Fortnite. I almost threw up. Fortnite is actually a really fun game. I don't get why people knock it. I really don't. That game is for kids. You probably are really underestimating the average player age base in that game. It's got to be mid-20s and up. Not to mention we played it for community game night a couple of weeks ago. We had a blast. You look great for 40. I would have not guessed that. Oh, thank you. I'm glad I'm 40 and I get sweaty in PvP games. What's the point of not trying to win? Everybody's different. I'm not saying I don't try to win. I didn't say that. I was saying I don't play that much. I don't take it that serious. I'm not going into the challenge list and like doing everything I can to get all the challenges done. I'm not doing those things. I haven't been playing since it came out. I just really like the game. Okay, you know what I was saying though, Mo. I wasn't giving like an actual history of you as a gamer. I was saying that you can't, if all the game is full of like diehard fans, that's just not a good system. I'm constantly getting frustrated by the devs. Too many times the community seems to have obvious answers, but the devs fight against until it's too late. Why? Fortnite and Zelda are games for kids. It is known. Distorted says, there's not enough progression and rewards in the multiplayer outside the Battle Pass. I finished the Battle Pass in less than 2 months and had basically no reason to play after month 4. I actually don't agree. Your coffee arrived today, Hilly? Nice. That didn't take too long. I feel like you ordered it last week. Was it last week? I don't necessarily think I agree with that, Distorted. I don't think they need to offer you endless rewards or more rewards than they have. I think, again, if it was a 3-month season, everything works fine. A monthly event, a season, a battle pass. Yeah, I don't think you need more than what they've created. I'm right there with you, says Fathom Rocker, late 30s here. The point of having a live service game is to grow your player base, increase your possible microtransactions. Keeping your game to diehards only defeats the purpose. Reason to play is because it's fun. Why would you play if it wasn't? We've dealt. I'm not even going to deal with that argument anymore. If you're making the argument that people should just play for fun, I'm quite literally ignoring that. It's such a thoughtless statement. I'm tired of dealing with it. I am. If you can't reasonably obtain 7 to 10 levels a day, it's poor progression, says Eugene. 7 to 10? That seems a tad high. Because then you're gonna be done with it in 10 days. How many hours would you say should take to do 7 to 10? I mean, outside of the battle pass, I'm not talking more cosmetics like multiplayer ranks, titles, emblems. Oh, stuff like that. No, I got it. Yeah. I don't disagree with you there. They could have more of those systems in the game, yes. Anyone that completes the pass in 10 days is going to keep playing anyways, and the rest will quit happy and come back. You're thinking 6-ish. So you're thinking 6 hours to 10. So you're thinking 2 to 3 levels an hour. 2 to 3 levels an hour, okay. I don't know. Yeah, that sounds right to me. Because I was going to say 1 level an hour is just way too slow. But you go too far and it's like, well, then why even have it? I have my biases, Hilly, but the only issue I have now is the 6-month season, and they have admitted that. Everything else feels great inside of 3 or 4 months, in my opinion. The battle pass is much better, and progress is better for daily. That's the pace I got in other games, says Eugene. Once I completed the Season 1 Battle Pass, I didn't come back to play at all. I'm not playing after the Battle Pass is done unless there's an event. I got way too many games to play, something like Halo Infinite, for no reason. It doesn't deserve that free time being spent on it. Well, I actually think it's totally fine if you play and stop after you're done with the Battle Pass. I actually think that's totally fine. Unless there's an event or something happening in the game, I don't think that's like unhealthy. This idea that they need, like, I think we can run off into 2 different extremes. The one extreme is the one we're in right now, where it's like there's just not enough to do. Well, it's not that there's not enough to do. It's that what they have, it's 6 months. It's just no way. But I don't think we should run off into the other direction and act like for 3 straight months I should have a reason to log in and play every single day. I don't think that that's reasonable. I think it's far more reasonable for a really dedicated player to play a season of a game like this, and at the month-and-a-half mark, you're winding down. You're like, yeah, I'm kind of done. I had the same argument with people in Destiny all the time. It's unreasonable to expect a 3-month season to keep you satiated for quite literally 90 straight days. I don't agree with that at all. I think you have to say the dedicated player gets about halfway through the season and they wind down and start disengaging. I think that's healthy. I think that's healthy because what that does is that scales down to the casual average player in a much better way. I agree too many games are trying to vie for all your time instead of just some of it. They let you take a break and play other games. But they have to keep you in the funnel so you will spend. That's the problem. No. They do keep you in the funnel, Distorted. If you play for about a month and a half and you feel like your time was respected, you progressed and got dope stuff, you had a really good time, you're in the funnel even if you take a break. You've not left the funnel. Why? Because your memory is a positive one, which means Season 3 you're jumping back in. The goal isn't get you to play all season. The goal is to get you to come back every season. That's the goal. If I can get you to come back every season, I win as a developer. You're going to come back. You're going to tweet. You're going to spend money. You're going to grind. You're going to get stuff. You're going to get earn rates. You're going to feed my funnel. I'm going to get data from you. I'm going to be able to analyze your player behavior. I need you to come back every season. I don't need you to play the entire season. That's the goal. This is why their current structure is 100% backwards. It's not about getting you to come back. It's about keeping you in every day, which is such an unhealthy aspiration. That's not how most people play. There are people that will fall into a funnel like that, and they'll play every day. Every dadgum day they're logging in. We know there's people like that with Destiny. We know there's people like that with Fortnite. There is likely people like that with Halo Infinite. But everybody else, isn't doing that. There's a sweet spot of being in the funnel to maximize spending. Right. You have to feel like it's worth it. Like you're going to spend money in a game if you feel attached to it. It feels like college where professors would give you work like they were the only class you had. I really hope that was a universal practice and I didn't just have crazy professors. Oh, no. Zubair, I signed up so that at my postgraduate, not undergraduate, postgraduate, they had these things called J terms where you would have like, you'd be in class for like 8 hours a day and the class lasted like a week, right? And I looked at the syllabus and the syllabus was absurd. It was literally a semester's worth of work, but I had less time to do it. Like, that defeats the entire purpose of the J term. The entire purpose of the J term is to slam out a class really fast, and it needs to be a class that's agile, that can trim off some of that workload. I literally dropped the class as soon as I saw the syllabus. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I had homework that needed to be done before the J term even started. It was so stupid. It was like, the whole point of the J term is you take everything and condense it to this 1 week. And you want me to write a paper before the class starts and like all these other things after the class is over. I don't think you realize what this is supposed to be. You got to appeal to the undecided voter. That's how Fortnite keeps me coming back, says Arc Soul Brother. That makes me think of the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now. Anyway, my time is respected. I have plenty of time to finish my pass and I have fun doing it. That's why Call of Duty has content dumps at mid-season, new maps, new operators, new weapons, new events. I'm going sometimes to play crazy amounts of Apex, and then I come back from me job. I think I understand what you're saying. That's not how 1 week works. I'm not sure what you mean, Zubair. Hopefully you dropped the class in time. You weren't charged still? No, yeah, I saw the syllabus. They emailed the syllabus to be like, here's everything you need to do before it all gets started. And I was like, no, and dropped the class. I was like, no. I've taken plenty of these classes. Nobody else is doing this. I had taken so many of those classes. I had never had a professor do that before. I was like, you're out of your dadgum head. You're out of your dadgum head. This is not what this is supposed to be. It's not. And to the point that Zubair is making, if that's how you treat the game, hey, another coffee order. Let's go. A bag of light roast, a chronic spin dash. That's what we love to see. 2 coffee orders, and we've had 1 new member. Come on, membership. You guys got to bring the A game over here. You're getting beat by coffee orders. We got 2 coffee orders now and just 1 new member. Don't forget, if you're a fan of Halo, this month's community game night is Halo Infinite. If you're a member, every Friday night is members only, and once a month it's a community game night. Next week, Friday the 13th, make sure Halo's installed and updated, even if you're not a Halo guy. The custom games that we play are usually an absolute blast. We're drinking, we're laughing. So click join. If you don't see a join button, you can type !join in chat, ! join in chat, or there's a link below in the description to become a member. It's not a 1 week class if you have 3 weeks of stuff to do. Oh yeah, that's right. I thought you were saying that's you. I thought you were pushing back on what I was saying. I was like, I had taken plenty of those, and that was never the setup. Can't wait for the coffee. Oh, thank you, Chronic. I appreciate that. I'm sure they can move the progression any faster. Oh, I'm not sure they can move the progression any faster for the Halo fans. I'm level 10 after 2 days. They don't want us done in 6 weeks, so I think the progression is a balancing act. Yeah, but see, the problem is, Hilly, the problem is you're 10 in 2 days because you lean into a certain way of playing. It's not even actually, is it 2? Oh yeah, it's 2 days. So you did 5 a day or whatever. The key would be setting up a system to where I can do that, but I didn't have to do what you did. I think the danger would become, if I do, like let's just say I'm Hilly, and I'm like, yeah, I'm level 10 after 2 days. I really committed. I was really working on the challenges. I was really aware of them. I was really focusing on them. That's really satisfying. I feel really good as a player. And then I come over and I'm like, yeah, I'm level 10 as well. I didn't really feel like messing with the challenges. I just went and did this and played this mode and really grinded out kills or really grinded out flag captures or whatever. If you can do both as Hilly, you're like, okay, I'm going to do both and hit 20 levels in like a day or a day and a half, then you're going to run into that problem of you'll be done with the battle pass in a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then what do you do, right? If you can create a system that doesn't allow for you to essentially double dip, I don't know how you do that. I really don't. Zubair says, I hereby bequeath all Papa Halo jokes to you, Hilly. I'm no longer qualified to make them. Give them a good home. They like salmon treats and ear scritches. I haven't touched Halo since I bought it. I have Apex and Season Pass, which I try to finish. Also, I have Elden Ring and Tiny Tina's. Yeah. A lot of games came out. 6 weeks is too long for a dedicated player to complete a pass. Well, it's not going to take him 6 weeks. He's 10 levels after 2 days. So that means it's going to take him 20 days, which is not 6 weeks. That's basically 3 weeks. A dedicated player is done in 3 weeks. Murph says, you know what infuriated me when I was taking online classes for my associate's degree? Being unable to view the syllabus before the class starts because the website says you can't view this yet because the class hasn't started yet. Oh, yeah. Heck says it's funny. I bought the Apex Pass at the start of the season. Now the season ends in a week, and I started grinding it last week. I'm almost done with the Battle Pass. I like that I can take a break, and the Apex Battle Pass respects my time if I focus on the challenges. Oh, he said they don't want us done in 6 weeks. Hang on. I'm not sure how much they could move it. Oh, he's saying don't make it any faster. They don't want us done in 6 weeks, so I think the progression is a balancing act. Yeah, I'm not understanding the point he was making, Eugene, then. I think I misunderstood his point. The challenges get reset every week, so my XP goes down. I can maintain 5 levels for the next 2 weeks, so 6 weeks is my guess. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, I understand now. When I was in college, we didn't have online classes. We barely had online. The Halo Battle Pass literally respects your time as it never expires, so you can complete it whenever you want. I'm gonna push back on what you're saying, Crispy Bogod. I think 343 Industries and the Halo Battle Pass, the way that they've implemented it in Halo Infinite, I think is deserving of praise. I think, however, that praise stops short and turns sour because of how long the Battle Pass takes. I got into the 30-something levels on Season 1. Do you think I'm going to ever go back and do that at the current rate at which that thing completes? No. They undercut the very value that they created. That's such a good system. No FOMO, guys. No FOMO. You can always go back and complete a battle pass. Did your job situation change, life change? You didn't get a chance to finish that battle pass? Man, no worries. No worries. You can always go back later and do it. The FOMO doesn't exist when the season is 6 months. Well, that's what I mean. It's like, and if you, let's just say, Hilly, like I did, I just kind of stopped playing, but maybe I want to go back and earn all that stuff from Season 1. I'm like, oh man, there is some nice stuff on there. Let's say it happens with Season 2. There are rewards right now at the end of the Season 2 Battle Pass that I genuinely want. And let's say I get into Season 3 or 4, and for whatever reason, we're playing more. Maybe it's more central to the show that we do or the channel that we have. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm playing a lot of Halo. I'm gonna go back and work on Season 1 or 2. I'm not gonna want to unless they adjust how quickly I can complete them. They undercut that value almost immediately. You can always go back and complete a battle pass. you're going to have to adjust how fast I can complete Season 1 and 2, or I'm never going back and doing them. I can't imagine many players going back to previous passes, but they do have the option, which is good. This is my hope, Hilly. I hope that when we get into Season 3, because the season's shorter, the progression system's adjusted, so you can grind out, finish Season 3, and then go back and finish Season 1 and 2 under the new progression system. That's my hope. I hope that they pull their head out of their rear end and be like, okay, our progression system just absolutely blows. And in Season 3, it's completely overhauled to line up with a 3-month system. And then I can retroactively sort of benefit from the new progression system and go back to Season 1 and 2 and kind of plow through them. Because right now, I cannot imagine doing all of the current season's battle pass and then going back and doing an old one as well. I just can't imagine. If they speed up progression system, I'd love to have several hundred levels of the pass to work through. That would be good. Seasons 3 and 4 might be great for players that left early Season 1. I 100% believe that Halo Infinite can have like a comeback. You know, it's a little disconcerting that the season launched Tuesday. We had a huge day. 2 days later, I'm breaking it down and doing a review, and the turnout is a fraction of what we had Tuesday. That's really disconcerting. It's like, this is why we stopped covering Halo last time. This is why we stopped covering it. It's like it's like everybody comes back. Everybody's real excited. We were covering it every time there was an event, right? And then a couple days would go by. We'd want to kind of revisit, break down the event, and it would be like, nobody cares. It's like, what in the world? I've never had that experience before with a game like this. When Halo first came out, we covered it like crazy for a couple of weeks. And there was a clear, consistent interest. That's my concern, is that people have just drifted from the game. They're like, I just don't really care, you know? A quick recap of what we discussed so far. The title of the stream, a Halo Infinite Season 2 review. I'm not giving you Cliff's Notes of a 2-hour long discussion. Be here or rewatch it. The first 5 minutes of every episode is my quick thoughts. Like, that's not fair to the live audience. They've been here listening, talking, engaging. You know, it's a review of the season. We're all giving our feedback. That's your Cliff's Notes. We all stuck our head in the kitchen to see if dinner was ready, and it wasn't, so we went back to watch TV. The Halo viewers need to stop watching as they have challenges to complete. Yeah, they can't watch. They have challenges to complete. I was really excited Tuesday. I thought, oh, here we go, man. A lot of people subbed that day. They're not here today. I'm not feeling the dividends of Tuesday right now. I'm not. New season, by the way. Yeah, a 24-hour peak on Steam, 15,000. And there's 6,000 people playing right now. Didn't reinvigorate. How much did it climb on the Xbox list, Eugene? They have to do... I think Hilly's right, and I've said this myself. I think Season 3 is when things can really turn. Because we all know what this is like. Many of us are familiar with what this is like from our time in Destiny. When all of the sudden the new season hits, and the new season is like this sort of, oh, this is so much better. This is so fresh. This is so, much improved. It's blatantly obvious day one. It's blatantly obvious day one. It's 14th on the Xbox chart. Golly, that is just bad. Player count's way down. It's painfully obvious in matchmaking. That may not be updated yet. Yeah, they might update that weekly. I thought they updated it daily. I'm a bit behind the stream, but I have to say I disagree with a lot of your takes. First was the Mangler. You admit you didn't know it's been nerfed and still proceed to say it's top tier. Talk to the pros and get back to me. Mangler is still considered a top tier weapon. Just because I didn't realize they got rid of a busted one-shot melee power structure doesn't mean Mangler is not still considered top tier by top level players. Like, it doesn't take away from my argument or criticism about the fact that you can keep the Mangler the entire dadgum time. You can essentially not do what the game asks you to do, which is get kills with all of the weapons. You don't have to do that. That doesn't work as a game mode. That's not how the game mode is built. Let's say you're just absolutely killer with one of the other weapons. I don't know. You just get to that weapon and can crutch the weapon all the way to the battle rifle. Like, that's not how the game is supposed to work. The mode is literally gun game. You get kills, go to the next weapon. You get kills, go to the next weapon. And the way they have it currently set up, it doesn't make any sense to me. I do like this season, though. At least there's more modes, some new maps finally, and skins actually look dope in the Battle Pass. I think the Battle Pass is one of the best things they did this season as far as the art style. Play Last Spartan Standing, Mangler's everyone's choice. I was disagreed with very strongly this morning when I said, I think Last Spartan Standing turns into a Mangler camp-off. That's what the meta will become. And I was told that the Mangler's not that great anymore. I was told that no one's going to camp because there's power-ups. I stand by my prediction. I think Last Spartan Standing gets into a meta rut very quickly. It will be a Mangler camp-off. That's what I think. Second, when you're arguing about cross-core being an unreasonable expectation, I'm a game dev. I've worked on AAA games. I feel like you're making points knowing too little about game dev. Ah, I see. Fallacy of the professional. Fallacy of the expert. Yes. So when they design a helmet with geometry and the shape of the piece that fits on the side of the helmet is designed around that geometry, it can just be slapped onto something else with completely different geometry. Do not attempt to like fallacy of the professional or expert gatekeep me from that. That's so base level visible in any game I've ever played. The geometry of a cosmetic is not dynamic. You can't like have a helmet camera arc or visor that's like dynamic. Oh yeah, you can slap it on the samurai helmet. It'll just shape to the samurai helmet. No. Now you can do that with textures. You can do that with colors. You can do that with lighting, but you can't do that with something that has geometric shape unless they make every single aspect of it dynamic, which would require more processing power, which would be incredibly stupid. So everybody's running around with dynamic cosmetic attachments on their heads because you want a visor, microphone, mouthpiece, whatever it is, to be dynamic and to fit on a samurai helmet. That'd be true if they weren't going to keep throwing more battle passes continually on top of it. You'll never catch up once you get behind. That's not necessarily true, Distorted, because they can completely overhaul the progression system, which would retroactively make you fly through Season 1 and 2. They could also just speed up Season 1 and 2. Like, hey, it's Season 4, it's Season 3. We think Season 1 and 2 should be faster. There's very little pieces that don't fit on other pieces, man. Also, you can't do it with textures, as UVs will be different. There's little pieces that don't fit on other pieces, so when they create like an actual metallic visor overlay, it's built to the shape, the size, and the geometry of that visor. There was a really like narrow helmet that got fat up here, and it had this piece that latched onto the upper corner. How are you going to slap that on a helmet with completely different geometry? How? And textures? You can do it with textures. I've played games that do that. Anthem did that. You could literally apply a texture to the entire suit and it just applied it like almost like a skin, like a color. I've seen it done. Technically, you can slap other geos on other pieces. Did you see the bots in Season 1? Yes, and floating pieces of geometry and floating pieces of cosmetics being slapped onto other pieces is not something I see them doing. I don't envision them doing that. My prediction isn't that you can't do it, it's that when you do it, it doesn't look proper, it doesn't fit. It's like, it's not the same geometry. Warframe did the texture thing now too. Yeah, I've played plenty of games where you can apply a texture to the entire armor set, and they don't have to go in and individually code the texture to make it do the right thing on the elbow. It's like a skin. It's like a piece. It's like a paint job. It's like you're spray painting like worn textures or distressed textures onto the metal. I didn't say they couldn't. I said it's an unreasonable expectation. It'll look bad. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna have this floating headset piece, next to my samurai helmet. That's not what you want. And then again, you can have texture draw errors where the piece goes like and like stretches across the map because it's not properly anchored to something. You've seen that with the capes in Destiny. I had it happen to a guy in Elden Ring the other day. When pieces are jostled about and move, it can create really weird like renderings where it's like, what is that? I've literally played Destiny and that's happened, because when you have a more dynamic, more free-moving cosmetic, random things happen. Get the frick out of here with your developer arrogance. Jiminy Christmas. I think Infinite has a chance to be good, but it's going to need quite a few more changes before that's possible. I don't currently consider it good. Hilly says, you get people complaining about going into a playlist already and then compound it if you have to play that list as well. Hilly says, my issue is people just calling out for performance XP. They're trying to protect the OBJ playlist and flow in games. 343 will adjust Last Man Standing if game flow goes too campy. I'm triggering you. Great developer, can't spell triggering. Unless it's projecting textures. Yes, they do have to update the textures for new Geo. How do you think we actually texture Geo? Just slap it on? I wasn't getting into the actual back-end technical aspect of it. What I was saying is you can apply a texture to an entire piece of armor that's different than attaching something with a different geometric shape. That's different. I've decided that you are worthless as far as engagement. I'm not talking to you anymore. Not because you're debating me, but because I cannot stand debating with people who don't do it in good faith and are just arrogant trash cans. Go away. People that put Lamau and LOL and laughing faces in their comments and have to posture if they're an expert, like, I can't deal with your rampant insecurity. You put a bad vibe in chat as soon as you got here. I messed around with the Halo engine with mods, and you're correct, says Paul. And Paul, don't you work in dev? Like, nothing I said was out of left field. I wasn't talking like I was a developer. Have you checked out Marauders? What's that? Halo TTK is very slow compared to games. I don't find the TTK to be a problem at all. I don't even think I've seen anybody talk about the time to kill being a problem. That's one of the things I think they got right. I feel like they got that right. I feel like when I play, I'm actually getting kills in the rhythm that I expect to see in Halo. I never once have played Halo Infinite and been like, oh my gosh, the time to kill. I'm like, no, they got this right. They got this right. I got a phone call and it messed up the TikTok stream. I don't know if it'll fix itself. I don't know if it'll fix itself. I thought I put on. Oh, there we go. We're back. Oh, you think triggering is your ally? You merely adopted the triggering. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see a therapist until I was already a man. TTK is fine. TTK is perfect. Mangler was the only TTK broken weapon, and that's in a better lane now. If a lot of devs act like that in studios, I can only imagine how much work and progress actually gets done. Paul says, cross-core is not the amount of work. You can do it right now with mods, but they'll have to go in and replace to set some bits of armor to work. All I was saying was, I think it's an unrealistic expectation because you're going to have pieces floating and not fitting properly, which can cause rendering errors and problems. We've seen that in other games. That's all I said. I didn't posture like I was a developer. I was like, I don't think it's a reasonable expectation. I don't think they're going to do that. You're not going to be able to slap some antenna, cool mechanical post-apocalyptic thing on the side of a samurai helmet. It'll look bad. It'll look awkward. They'll be clipping. They'll be floating. It won't look right. That's all I was saying. It's like it's not going to be a dynamic piece of geometry that just slaps on and fits to every different helmet. 343 even said cross-core is not going to work on event cores. Yeah, we were also specifically talking about the attachments and how the attachment systems worked, and then I said I could see them moving towards more universal attachments because then they'd be more in demand. Because they could move away from attachments that are so geometry-based and so core-based and be more like, almost like it's like magnetic. It just like slaps on the side or slaps on the front or your chest or whatever. It's frustrating, says Sam, that the actual game is solid. It's everything else that's awful. It's a diamond covered in poop. When 343 finally cleans the crap off, we'll have a diamond. I said that multiple times this morning. I'm like, oh, you're right there. They're like right there. They're so close. They make a couple minor changes, and I think it's going to be a really, really solid game. Great job on new members yesterday. I'm a Spotify listener and lurker. Hope more support comes your way. Oh, thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was actually 2 days ago. Yesterday I think we got 2 yesterday. We've gotten 1 today. I don't like harping on the membership and I don't like harping on the coffee, but we got to have those goals. We got to foster that membership spending culture because I don't run ads. In a live environment, we just can't do that. We need membership goals and we need to hit monthly goals. We just have to. The Mangler felt like crap when I used it, says Distorted. Inconsistent with hit detection. Inconsistent poor representation of bloom on the reticle when firing, but the damage is still good. I felt like I was shredding people with the Mangler. It felt great. All this talk of attachments just get me thinking about reach and how you could interchange pieces with different armor sets. I could see them doing that. I wasn't saying that they can't and that it's impossible. I said with all of the existing ones, I think it's unreasonable. Like what I was doing was, I know what people do. They hear something and they interpret it to the extreme. Like, oh, they're going to get rid of they're going to have cross-core customization, and they're going to fly off into the extreme and be like, that one specific attachment on that one specific helmet, I can't wait to put that on a samurai helmet. And it's like, no, that's not what they're going to do. That's not in the spirit of what they're talking about. How's your coffee compared to Death Wish? I've started getting back into coffee, and Death Wish is my jam. I'm always down to support local businesses too, especially from Ohio. I appreciate that. I mean, I'm original from Ohio, but I do live in Kentucky now. I've never had Death Wish. I know Death Wish is like, I think from what I understand from the branding, it's like really bold, really strong coffee, I think. So I don't know what your palate is. We have a light roast and a dark roast. The thing I tell people is, if you're a coffee drinker and you've never had coffee with balanced acidity, you should try our coffee. Both the light and the dark have balanced acidity. We've had people say that that makes it super versatile. They do cold brew with it, no creamer, black. We've got a lot of coffee drinkers in chat that'll give you perspective on why they like it so much. My wife doesn't even like getting coffee from this local place anymore. She doesn't think it tastes as good. It's like the balanced acidity like spoils your palate. That's all. I can't compare it to Death Wish because I've never had it. Oh, Rogue says, I've drank Death Wish. I honestly think Rageless is better taste-wise. It's pretty affordable as well. Give it a shot. Well, there you go. Thank you, Rogue. Not all of them, says Abe, but their staple coffee is the strongest coffee. I would still prefer the dark roast. Okay, there's another person, Abe, saying he prefers my dark roast. So, and neither of those guys are like blowing smoke. If they prefer Death Wish, or, they would tell you. they have no problem. How much is your coffee? What did we were, I don't think we did it yet, but we're supposed to, because they're charging us more for it now. We've not bumped it yet. It's $15.95. We do need to bump it. We haven't done that yet. At some point this year, we have to bump it. I think we were going to do it. I think we were going to do it by $1. We are actually having to pay more for it. It's and freight's been a dadgum nightmare. Like, their costs have gone up, the roasters, so we're paying a little bit more than we did in the past. We have not put that cost on the consumer yet. So I'm not saying that to like make you feel like we're not doing like charity here, but we spent more on the coffee, recently restocked the whole house, and we have not passed that cost on to you yet. We will have to, though, at some point this year. Awesome. I get the dark roast from Death Wish. I'll definitely check you out. How's shipping to Northeast Ohio? I live like 10 minutes from Cedar Point. I am originally from Northeastern Ohio. I grew up in Canton, Ohio. Shipping from Louisville to Ohio is really fast. We print the labels the day you order it, and my wife typically ships it the next day. So if you order on a Monday, you'll have it Wednesday or Thursday. At the latest, you might have it Friday, but if you're in Ohio and you order it on like a Monday, you're going to get it. You won't get it like next day, but you might get it Wednesday. Probably safest bet would be Thursday. And then at the latest, it would hit you on a Friday. And again, that's ideal, right? You order on a Monday, my wife drops it off on a Tuesday, you might have it next day, Wednesday, but almost guaranteed you'd have it Thursday or Friday. Lono will hand deliver it to you. No, I'm not that close to him. I'd have to be on like a trip up there. Zubair says, I'm just here for the coffee. I only engage with Lono to keep the coffee flowing. JW says, I ordered on a Sunday and I got it Tuesday and I'm in Chicago. Okay, so yeah, there you go. There you go. Lanigan says, talking coffee, we just got my first bag in yesterday. Can't wait to try it and wasn't expected such a cute note inside. Yeah, my wife and kiddos pack it up and ship it to you. So you'll get like a thank you note and a little picture from my kids in the bag. I live in St. Louis, and I usually get it in 2 days. Thank you, Vengeance. Yeah, so there you go. Louisville is a great hub for shipping. Like, if we did it UPS, it'd be so fast because we're a UPS hub. We're also just a really good hub for USPS. I don't know why that is, but we get packages and ship packages out very quickly from Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah, some armor pieces. That's right, Paul. They're not going to do cross core for every single thing. That's exactly right. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Okay, let's schedule the next. I've kept every single drawing I've gotten from my coffee orders. I got one super special one hanging on my fridge. Is that the one where I flicked you off? I'm drinking it now. Team Dark Roast, says Zubair. Light roast is basically tea. The light roast slander from Zubair. That's so real. Okay. I was telling Creature, because the Frickmas, our holiday blend, was selling so well that the light roast sales slowed down, and I was like, I bet you once we're out of the Frickmas, light roast picks back up. And I was right. Light roast has picked back up again. So you guys will be very pleased to know that the holiday blend will be back. We'll be back this holiday season. Don't you worry. That one was so popular. It was so popular we almost did a Frickmas in July. I almost did. I was like, we should do a short run or like a limited run for July and do Frickmas in July, but it didn't work out. It wasn't going to be worth it. It was going to be too much trouble and the timing was going to be rough. So let's do this. Let's set it for noon. Okay. You had a 50-50 chance, chat. It had to happen eventually. What had to happen eventually? Out of curiosity, how did you get in the coffee game as a content creator? In a previous business endeavor, we were working with another coffee company, and they were the ones providing it. We stopped working with them, and I had people bringing up the coffee all the time. we found somebody who could roast it and flavor match, and then we make way more money on it because we're the ones selling it, right? Like, this company was selling it and they slapped my logo on it, and then they were giving me like a stipend and a kickback. They were not paying me nearly enough for the volume we were moving either. We were moving like 100 bags a week. Like, we were really moving. That was a different time, and we were doing different things and streaming to lots higher numbers on a different platform. And we stopped working with that company, and somebody still had a bag. It was Snatchy, a community member. A community member still had a bag, and they sent it out to this company for us, and they flavor matched. They sent it to me, and I was like, "This is it. This is the coffee. It's amazing. It's such a good flavor." I knew as soon as I smelled it that they had gotten it right, and so we just started selling it. Now, it's obviously a little bit more work for us. I have to have a giant skid of coffee shipped to my house, and my wife and kids basically are the ones that I'm the one. I just sit in the chair and promote it, and they're the ones that bag it up and ship it. Do a St. Patrick's Day blend, says Rep Mitchell. Yeah, it's just not easy to do like off-the-cuff holiday blends or like short order blends because you have to order a certain amount and it's extremely expensive. Like, you're literally ordering like a giant quantity of coffee up front and then shipping it to people. So it's like it's all pre-ground, so I can't do whole bean and pre-ground. I have to do all of one. So that's why we don't do whole bean, because then people would be like, I can't do it. You'd have to go out and buy a bean grinder. Like the reverse sear steak, Lono does all the talking, but Madam does all the work. That's such bull. She turns the oven on and puts the steak in the oven. That's all she does. I salt it, I rack it, I season it. I came up with my own season blend, my own season blend, and then I sear it. She puts it in the oven. Excuse me. I'd buy the coffee, but I'm No. Don't put your age in chat. Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that, Duncan. I removed your message from chat. Do not ever do that. Don't ever put any personal information anywhere in a chat or in a DM or a message to anybody on the internet. If you don't grind your own beans, try it. Freshly ground is the way. Oh, I like it. But why? Why should you never do that? Well, number one, as a dad, I'm telling you don't do that. Like, as someone that's concerned for just general safety, you should not do that ever. As a minor, you should never ever do that. Yo, there we go. Thank you so much, Sam. Sam ordered some coffee. You guys convinced him. He got a bag of both. Wait, no, that says tattoos. Oh, tattoos ordered a bag of both. And Sam ordered some. Look at that. He got a bag of the dark roast. Thank you, Sam. There we go. What is that? That's 4 coffee orders for the day. We're trying to get 6 coffee orders every day and 6 new members every day. Because if we get 600 members on this month, my wife has to play Elden Ring. If you've never done a membership on YouTube, please, it's $5. Like, I'm begging you. I want my wife to have to play Elden Ring. She has talked so much smack, okay? Every Friday night is a stream with my wife. It's members only. And once a month, that Friday night stream is community game night. This month, it's Halo Infinite. So Friday the 13th next week, if you're a Halo fan and you're a member, make sure you're here for community game night. But if we can hit 600 members, she has to play Elden Ring. So help us hit that goal. We need 5 more members today to keep us on pace. It won't happen again. No worries, Duncan. No worries. Duncan, I'm dead serious. If you are ever anywhere on the internet and someone is asking for you for that kind of information, they want to know your age, your name, or your city, you never give that information out, ever. No one should be asking for that. Any good, decent human being should not be asking you for that information. You just immediately block or say, no, I won't do that. Like, Don't ever do that. There are people out there that will DM you or email you or whisper you or whatever on all these platforms. And if they start asking you for your age, your real name, your city, you never, ever tell them that. In fact, you should tell your parents that that's happening, because that's a good sign something's wrong. Nobody should be asking for that information. Come on, gifted members, where are you? Says Haseo. Yeah, what's your social security number, by the way? I just casual conversation. What's your favorite movie? Favorite band, and then your mother's maiden name, your birthday, your social. Come on, what's the problem? It's just normal, just lighthearted, casual conversation. What was the name of your first pet? I just random questions off the top of my head. Who do you bank with again? Oh man. Oh golly. Yeah, Abe, you're a little bit behind. Yeah, your mother's maiden name, first pet's name. Yeah. Love this dad Lono coming out. I've been thinking about that lately. Just like they're a good, maybe even coming up with I was thinking about that for my own like community that I'm in, coming up with like just a really good resource for parents. These are all the things you should be doing right now to keep your kids safe on the internet. Do this. Don't let them use this platform ever. I feel like that'd be a great resource for parents, because I think sometimes parents, to their fault, sometimes I think they're completely detached, and sometimes they just don't know. They're just like, I let my kids do that, and it's like, I'd like to get to know you more. What's your mother's maiden name? What common passwords do you like to use? It's been a couple days since I played Elden Ring. I keep seeing clips and I'm like, I want to get back in. We'll play tomorrow. Our no summons playthrough will continue tomorrow. Today we'll be playing Trek to Yomi. We'll be doing that in a little bit. Magic is fine, perfectly fine. Oh, what's the guy doing in the clip? Let me open it up. It's 45 seconds. He's already summoned, right? Yeah, he's got somebody summoned behind him. Has he done anything yet? He just went in the he just went in the room. Alright, so there's the summons. Big huge blast. Wait, what? Why is that blast doing that much damage? Oh my gosh, she's killing him in... He just died in transition. Hey, another coffee order. Look at it go. A dark roast to Ani. Thank you, Ani. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have an odd number of coffee orders now. Somebody round it out, take it to 6. I know you don't like New Game Plus, but the Sacred Relic Sword is awesome. My concern with that Wheezy is that... I'm not Wheezy, sorry. Good morning, Wheezy. I was talking to Eugene and then Wheezy said good morning. Don't interrupt me when I'm talking to somebody, Wheeze. Jiminy frickin' Christmas. How dare you type good morning at that moment in time? Just kidding, I love you. Eugene, is that a New Game Plus footage would be my question. That's my question about that footage. Does he specify, is that just like, here's my level, first playthrough, like whatever? Because if that's New Game Plus... I'll beat the out of you. I love you too. We're getting coffee orders. Now we need the members. Come on, non-members. I don't beg for membership, but you have to help me make my wife play Elden Ring. I don't think so. It's titled like First Play. I always wonder if somebody like that is being dishonest though. Duncan says, I'm fairly new to the community. You're a good dad, I can tell. Good looking out. No worries, Duncan. No worries. Listen, man, we gotta take care of each other out here, man. Big scary world. You can do it in the first playthrough. The spell is just OP. Okay. I mean, I wasn't saying that I doubted the power of the spell. It was the speed with which Horalu died. That was Horalu, wasn't it? Or was it Margot? Oh no, that's is that Margot or Horalu? It was like small on my screen. I just was watching the damage. I was just watching the health bar drain. The blue Kamehameha beam can be used in your first playthrough. All you need is unlimited FP flasks for 10 seconds. It's Margot. Okay, I couldn't remember. But that's where you fight Horalu, isn't it? Maybe that's why I'm confused. Don't you go back through there to fight Horalu? It's the same arena, isn't it? I don't remember now. It's been a while. That much power available, 2/3. The spell isn't OP because you're so far away from the boss, it doesn't have time to start getting real aggro. It just walks towards you. Same arena. Okay. I was like, that's why I was confused. Got it. Mr. Glum with a $5 tip. I'm begging of the new members. His wife said, how hard could it be? You guys don't understand. Yeah, you have to. You have to help me with this. Oh, man. We are, I want to check something real quick. I've been testing a theory this week. Halo Infinite Season 2. Yeah. What's hurting us today is we're not in the Season 2 funnel. We're in the review funnel, but we're bumped down pretty far. And the thumbnail's not amazing. I should have made it pop a little bit more. Obnoxious thumbnails are winning the day. Oscar says testing. There it is, Steely Alpha. Come on. Come on. Steely Alpha taking us to 2 members for the day. Appreciate you, Steely. Good interaction today, too. Good conversation with you. Enjoy the dope badge and emotes, your dope and deserve dope stuff. Enjoy Friday nights, streams with my wife, or community game night next week. And there's a member stream today. Thursday afternoons, we do an extra stream. We just kind of hang out and talk. We might get into some of the conclusions that we've come to about Reforge Radio. We haven't come to decisions yet, but we've come to some conclusions. I had a good meeting yesterday. I feel really good, but it was we've got to talk to you guys a little bit. We don't have anything to formally announce yet, though. Lono versus wife trial day 15. Wife testimonial continues. He made me play Elden Ring for subs. I just remember Dirty Carpet. What happened? Nothing happened. We've just been doing some brand expansion is what we were trying to do, I think is what I would call it. Brand expansion or evolution. And we've just learned some lessons and have come to some conclusions about what we need to do going forward. And I think it's going to be great. And I feel good about it because but it's just, we've got to make some choices and some decisions, in the next couple of days or in the next week or so. But to tell you, there is no Reforge Radio episode today. We've got to... Well, I guess we'll explain that. Maybe we shouldn't explain that in the members-only stream. That doesn't make any sense. It's not just members that go over to Reforge Radio. I guess I can give, a very quick flyover right now. Maybe about, here's what we've concluded and here's what we're kind of thinking. Is radio moving? Yeah, it's family meeting this afternoon. Yeah, but if we do it as a members only thing, not everybody will know what's going on. I don't know if we can do that. Unless you want to go over to radio and basically explain it. I don't know. Members meeting first. So what, we do the members meeting to gather feedback? Abe says no, block it behind members only. OnlyFans coming soon. That's right, Dan. If they want to know why, they better join. Anyone else go way down the sewers in the Capitol and have to get naked to walk through the doors? Scene was awesome. I did that, Scotty. If you did that, you're going to get the chaos ending. Yo, welcome back, Dan. Dan jumping back in, getting that purple badge. We're off the rails anyway, may as well tell him. Yeah, we're way off target, and we've got 15 minutes before Trek to Yomi. Will the meeting have catering? We'll gather feedback because we haven't made a decision yet, so we could use the members-only stream to gather feedback from you guys about Reforge Radio, right? We have rails. If you guys want to know the future of Reforge Radio, you better become a member, says Abe. We'll use that stream to gather feedback from you guys because we still don't quite know what we want to do. We have a general idea, but it's not concrete yet. It's kind of abstract. What's going on today for members? Every Thursday afternoon, we do a members-only stream. It's just a time to hang out and kind of AMA and get into other gaming topics or things I might not have talked about. Hold on, we're ending radio? No, we're not ending radio. So, for about a week now, Creature has been expressing concern about the brand because Reforge Gaming updates and first look, it's all gaming. And when we go over to radio, it's not gaming at all. And it's been really fun. It's been really fun. But he was expressing concern about long term, this might be a bad idea. It's not that it's a bad idea in principle, but long term, for the sake of the brand, this might not be a good idea. Nobody does this. There's maybe a reason why nobody does this. Concern is what I do. It's my brand, right? And so I took it under advisement. I was like, okay. And then his wife was like, are you guys being bold or are you guys being stupid with what you're doing? Right? Having one brand that's like all gaming and then another brand that's getting into like really serious subjects, okay? And nothing that's happened over on radio has necessarily been bad. It's all, in my opinion, it's been like 90% really good, with 10% kind of like, you get some yahoos in the chat and some dumb comments, but overall, I didn't think anything over there was bad. And then we started to notice there was some exodus in the Discord. We thought maybe, we're not saying that it's related, but we're not saying it's the cause, but we're saying it might be slightly related, that people join the Discord and suddenly they're seeing thumbnails and discussions that are not gaming related at all, and it might be driving people away, because there's a couple people, especially in the Discord, that love to go hammer and tongs into the wee hours, and I think that it potentially was creating kind of like a weird what's happening kind of a thing. Again, nobody did anything wrong. It just is creating a potential fracture, right? I like the Monday Moral Musings. I like that too, Quiet Shy Girl. I thought it was really, really fun. So Creature expressed his concern, and I was just kind of keeping tabs on it. And we tried to turn the temperature down. That's what Monday's Moral Musings was about, right? And then I met with my pastor yesterday just because I needed some advice. I needed some advisement about just some things that had been going on. Some things that have been going on with me internally, things that I had been feeling. One of the main reasons I wanted to do Reforge Radio is I'm experiencing, a journey and a change and personal and spiritual growth that I didn't just want to share with people. I also felt like, man, I like talking about this stuff. I studied it for literally a decade. I got 2 degrees. It's a huge part of my life. I'm intellectually well versed in that arena. And when I met with him and kind of told him everything that was going on and everything that was happening, completely on his own, he started echoing his own concerns about that channel specifically and what we were doing. And he had other ideas of like, you can do what you're doing in other avenues, other ways, other outlets. And I didn't realize that those were opportunities that could be like necessarily afforded to me, because I really wanted to like get what's happening inside. I wanted to get it out. It's like, oh man, I told Creature, I said, when we covered Destiny nonstop, it was like the intellectual part of me got to sink its teeth into Destiny. And now the intellectual part of me is kind of waking up in that arena. I got books and books and bookshelves of books. I've got all this knowledge. I've got all this stuff. And now the knowledge and the passion, now the knowledge and the passion and the heart, the head and the heart are getting connected. and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to talk about these things. We fundamentally think it isn't good for the brand long term, is what we've determined. Not that I did anything wrong or that you guys did anything wrong. I still believe that what we were doing was both noble and possible, to forge a channel that would be all about conversation as opposed to tribalism, polarized choosing of a side. I think the more I've thought about it, I came to kind of an epiphany yesterday about this. I think I'm right when I say that there are people out there that would really like to recapture discourse and have conversations and have healthy disagreement. I believe that is true. However, I worry that those people aren't coming to YouTube for that type of discourse. The people coming to YouTube are looking for a tribal drum. Are you beating on the left tribal drum or the right tribal drum? Are you beating on this religion's tribal drum or this religion's tribal drum? Unfortunately, I think in practice, what we experienced, we did this for 2 months, okay? We've done this for 2 months, and in my experience, I'm concerned that audience is not on YouTube. So we're going to create a product that's got a bunch of things that are challenging about it. Number one, it isn't that good for the brand. The Reforged brand is going to get potentially diluted or harmed by this. It's not a guarantee, but it's a potential. There's also a potential that it's a fool's errand, that we're not going to meet the reasonable people that some of you are. Like, right, there's people in here that disagree, and they disagree reasonably, and they enjoyed the disagreements and they enjoyed the discussions. I worry that there's not enough of you on YouTube to build a channel with. That we would have only been primarily like getting the tribalistic types would come in, and it's like that's not really what we're looking for, right? It so easily went from talking about things reasonably to just dealing with absurdity. Yeah, it was very quick sometimes, Eugene. And I think sometimes there was value in that because I could kind of push back on it. I could kind of say, no, I don't think that's true or whatever. So, no, and I understand that, Millington. Are we sure there's enough of us in the world? I think there's enough of you in the world, Zubair. I don't think enough of you come to YouTube. I think this is something my pastor and I were talking about. The reasonable people are starting to sort of leave those environments. They're leaving Twitter. Or if they're on Twitter, they don't engage in those discussions. They just use Twitter to see movie reviews and art and music. Like they're not using Twitter and YouTube for discourse because the type of discourse that's on Twitter and YouTube is just so unappealing to those people. Do you understand? Like if my target audience is a reasonable, like well-mannered, well-articulated person that wants to, that's pining for good, healthy discourse, if that's my target audience, I don't think they're going to Twitter and YouTube for reasonable discourse. They're using Twitter and YouTube for gaming guides or how to fix a light bulb. They're avoiding those types of videos. The types of people coming to YouTube that are going to click on a video about a political issue, social issue, cultural issue, religion issue, faith issue, they're going to likely fall into a tribal pit. And so I feel like when I got multiple people uttering the same concern, I got Creature uttering it, Creature's wife is uttering the concern, and then my pastor, who's never talked to them or doesn't even know who they are, says almost the identical sort of thing. They were looking at it from different ends of the spectrum. He was looking at it from the spectrum of like ministry. He was like, this doesn't seem like the environment to pour your passion and talents into in that arena. He was like, you do the gaming thing well. The gaming thing's the business. Apply yourself to it excellently and do that as an excellent creator. It's like this other thing you can do in other arenas. You don't need to do it how you're doing it now. And it has all these pitfalls and risks. So like when he's saying it from that end of the telescope and Creature's saying it from this end of the telescope, I'm like, they're looking at the same thing and they're coming to the same conclusion from completely different perspectives. I have to consider that. I have to be wise. I have to be discerning. Just the other day, I was studying something about being prudent. Being prudent is considering the future, like not being obsessed with the here and now. Like the prudent man ignores the insult, right? Because he's thinking about the future, and the insult's a here and now thing. It's a frivolous nothing. It's over his shoulder. So being prudent, it's like, no, I have to consider what these people are saying. The very presence of an algorithm selecting what you see and do not see, it does not lead to genuine discourse. The recommends I was starting to get like, holy crap. Right. So, we love the name Reforge Radio, and we think, yo, Sax Boy, good to see you, and welcome in. Third new member of the day. We're trying to get 6 new members each day. We're halfway there. We only need 3 more members. We're trying to hit a member goal this month, and then my wife has to play Elden Ring. If you've never done a membership on YouTube, we can help you do it. It's real easy. Click join. There's a command in chat. There's a link in the description. It's $5 a month, and we got all sorts of extra content for you as a member. So what we've concluded is that Reforge Radio is a great name, and we've got a couple of ideas. We have a couple of ideas of like what we would do. I'll just throw one out just to whet your appetite, because what we'll do is we'll use the members only stream this afternoon here on Gaming to brainstorm with you guys. So if you're not a member, that is a perk right there. You can help brainstorm about what we do with Reforge Radio. I'll give you one thing to whet your appetite. If it was a separate channel, separate vibe, separate identity, because it's Reforge Radio and not Reforge Gaming, we do think there could be opportunity to do and bring back call-ins, because you guys have consistently brought it up. We thought, oh man, you should have people calling in on radio. It's called Reforge Radio, isn't it? You should have people calling in. Calling in would be great. We think we could bring that in, but we do think that Reforge Radio needs to be some type of gaming show. It cannot be what it is right now. And listen, what I'm saying is sad. I am bummed. We were having a lot of fun. We had phenomenal conversations. We did something that I didn't think was possible. I thought, there's no way we can delve into these topics. There's just no way. Now, we didn't jump into the minefield that's happening right now in the social discussions. We didn't jump into that insanity. But we jumped into basically every other topic that could be jumped into, and it was really fun. But if it's a potential risk to the brand, if it's a potential risk going forward, even for me personally, I have to consider that. No, I don't think so, Sven. I don't think we would do that. Reforge Gaming wouldn't change at all. It would not change at all. I feel like what we would do is we would go over to radio and have a very different show that would be less... This is more topic driven. This is more talk show Lono talk driven with gameplay. Radio would be like a whole nother animal. We've got some ideas. I've only thrown out one, and we can brainstorm about that later. The idea being that like there are certain things we don't do on gaming because we feel it's just such a different vibe, such a different identity, such a different feel and thing. We could just say, hey, totally separate channel. And the beauty is that live redirects just launched, so you guys wouldn't really feel the difference. It'd be like, there's a link in chat, guys, and we're going to redirect. You see what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't even really feel the difference. If you hang out with me all day, who cares? Like, I'm just pushing a button and the logo will be a little bit different, right? Now, the content we want to make the content and the vibe and the identity of that channel very different, but it would be grounded in gaming. I almost got Lono to sort of understand Zen a little. It's called radio. Just do drama and cancel people. Is there something specific that's driving you away from the topics being discussed on Reforge Radio? Yes, you may have missed it. Creature had been uttering concerns for a week or so now about this might not be good for the brand. Because you have a brand that's primarily rooted in gaming, and you're getting into way other territories that's potentially bad. Not that the topics are bad, not that anybody did anything bad, but it's not good for the Reforge brand to be so mixed. Like, that's very, very not normal for a gaming channel to have a host of a gaming show going over to some other platform, some other channel, and being like, talking about God and the Bible and cultural, super serious cultural issues. It's just not a thing, right? It's not a thing. It's a disordinance. It's going to cause, it's discordant. That's right. It's a dissonance. It's like, well, I don't know. Like, just jumped in. Sorry to make you repeat yourself. No, you're fine. I don't mind repeating myself. What about bringing back the round table? Creature's got some ideas like that would potentially live on this channel, because we would want it to be a very different vibe. It would still be gaming. So that way the entire Reforge brand is gaming. If you find Reforge anywhere on the internet, it's going to be gaming. Reforge updates, Reforge first look, Reforge Gaming, Reforge Radio. It would all be gaming. That's a unified brand. It's a sensible thing. I think we tried to do something that I think was good, but I think in practice it's just, could you find a way to finish the story? Oh, about my journey. Is radio gaming now. It will become some type of a gaming show, yes. That is the tentative decision that we have come to, yes. I love the gaming content. I love supporting Lono, but I had to unsub from radio because of algorithms. Yeah, and see, that's such a good point, Reckless, that I haven't even brought up and we haven't even really mentioned. For the user, it's so disruptive to your experience on YouTube to be like, gaming, Elden Ring, ha ha ha, and then all of a sudden you're getting some video about Jesus and you're like, what's going on to my algorithm? Like, man, I love Lono, but what in the huh? Yo, Craig with 10 months. Happy lunch break. I think this change is a good idea moving forward. Thank you. Is there a room to convince you otherwise? What do you mean, Khalid? I agree with Creature, so why don't you put it under a completely separate name? You don't have to name every channel under the same umbrella. Well, that was the other aspect of the meeting that I had with my pastor. He was like, I just don't think for you to thrive as a person that this works. He's like, it's too... And I was feeling it, man. I'd be ending a play session in Elden Ring or ending a talk show and being like, now I gotta shift gears and go over here and talk about this. It was hard. It was really, really hard. It was very taxing. I'm impressed with how many of you had reservations but didn't rock the boat. Y'all are nice people. Right, Zubair? Gaming, Elden Ring, Outriders, Jordan Peterson. That's right. That's right. Like, it's disruptive to the algorithm. It's like, I think this guy's dope and I love what he's talking about, but man, it's jacking my algorithm up, Lono. I'm getting all kind of nonsense now. You're bifurcating the identity. That's a good word. I want to look that up. Bifurcating, dividing into two branches or forks. Yeah. Finding a way to tell the story and to have like a personal channel or personal outlet. I thought you hit the jackpot over on radio talking about culture and matters of faith. I know. I had a lot of people say that. They're like, this is great content, man. This is what you need to be doing. And I think I might end up doing it, but not in this arena and not under this brand's name. I was astounded with how many people I disagreed with in here, and it never got toxic. It's a compliment to Lono and Creature for fostering a place where we could disagree and be respectful on the web. Oh, it's bifurcating. Thank you, Zubair. Bifurcating. How much was it the topics and how much was it the people that were attracted? It's a mixture of both, Eugene. There's so many reasons to stop. It's not going to be good for the brand long term. It was hurting. Anybody that subbed to all the channels is going to get a jacked up algorithm. I don't think it was necessarily good for me. Like, we can refocus all of our efforts on gaming. Just to give you some like background, like insight into how much work was going into radio, it was an entirely new endeavor for me. I'm having to find articles, research, read, take time to type up an open. the open to that show, I was like, that was a 20-minute open. That's a lot of work for me to type that up. And I loved it, but it was like, my gosh, like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. This might not even be sustainable. You generally focus on your core competencies. And something my pastor said is, he said, the further you go down this road, you're going to need expertise. He's like, you have expertise in gaming. You've been doing it for so long, you're considered an expert at some level of commentary. He's like, in those fields, he was like, you'd have to have some level of expertise. And I was like, well, I was going to be more of a host to foster conversation, not requiring me to be an expert. And he's like, that could work. He's like, but I think you're stopping short of how good it could be in another venue. Because the topics themselves never bothered me, but there were days I dreaded what I would read in the chat that day. Can you do a podcast on Spotify or something once a week to give yourselves an outlet? Well, listen, we've got to... I don't want this video to be longer than 3 hours. It didn't do that well to begin with, and if it gets longer than 3 hours, the VOD's like sentenced to death. Candler Jordan with a new membership. There we go. 4 new members for the day. Thank you so much. We got to switch gears. Listen, we're going to do a members-only stream after Trek to Yomi. I'm going to play that game Trek to Yomi here. And if you want to brainstorm and have ideas about what we could do with radio, what we could do going forward, then become a member like Candler just did. Hit join. It's $5 a month. It supports me and the channel directly. We really need membership to continue to go on the upswing that it's going. You get a members only stream every Thursday, Friday nights. Next week is community game night in Halo Infinite, and maybe you can help us unlock making my wife play Elden Ring. What time I'll come back? It depends on how long I can play Trek to Yomi. I may play it for an hour and be like, I may play it for an hour and be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Trek to Yomi is going to be 1 to 2 hours is my estimation. So in 1 to 2 hours, we'll be switching over to the members only stream. You don't always have to read chat, says Quiet Shy. That's where when I saw you miss some stuff that I think you should know about the topic, it felt it was off. Well, and that's why I switched gears, Butters. So when we talked about like lying and we talked about free speech, it was like, I was like, I'm just going to host the conversation. I'm not going to try and sit here and be a pundit or be a commentator or be an expert. And I think it would have worked. I do. Does this mean we won't get Star Wars debates on radio? Well, that's the beauty of making it gaming, is we can always get into the tangential, right? Like we did yesterday, right here on Reforge Gaming. We were talking about the Star Wars games and all the updates, and then we spent the second half of the show on the movies. That was a blast, right? And if we had a radio show that was a little bit more wild, wild west, that was a little bit more like, hey, call in and debate me, that could be awesome. It is working. I know it was working. I'm being prudent. Prudent is considering the future. I don't think considering the future, we could continue doing it. It was fun. It was a great experiment. Listen, I have a project with Andrew Schwab, the lead singer for Project 86, that's gonna be very similar to what we were doing on radio, and I've learned incredible lessons to inform that project with him. And that can be where you get that kind of content from me once we're able to launch that. They're recording and doing their final album, so he's incredibly busy. But I'm telling you, I can't take Reforge as a brand and bifurcate it like that. Great word. I can't. I don't think it's a good decision. I don't think it's prudent. I think it's lacking in discernment and wisdom. It's inadvertently reckless. Is what we ultimately concluded. When my producer and my pastor are saying the same dadgum thing, the wise man receives instruction and is made wiser by it. Like, I can't ignore that and be like, no, let's just keep going. It's been fun. Like, I can't. Trek to Yomi gameplay. I gotta send out the tweet. I don't think we're gonna make it. I don't think we're gonna make it under 3. Oof, I got a minute and a half. It's great for the core. You have to remember, like I said, I don't think the reasonable people that want to have reasonable discussions, I don't think they're coming to YouTube for them. I sadly don't think there's an audience for what we were doing. I think you guys loved it because you liked me, and you guys are all incredibly reasonable people. But I do not think there's an audience for it on YouTube, sadly. Oh, no. Okay. Come to the members only stream and help us brainstorm about it, okay? Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. This is going to be Trek to Yomi gameplay. Brand new game launched today. It is on Xbox Game Pass. We covered this game previously here on Reforge Gaming. Was really excited to jump into it. If you like my gameplay videos as well as my gaming content, my talk shows, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button. That way you don't miss that content. We have really, really great discussions every single day. We did a bunch of Star Wars stuff for Star Wars Day, and this morning we did sort of a review of Halo Infinite. I'm going to bring everybody over from the stream this morning, do a live redirect for them, and